Gonna try to line up and scary repositions one instantly. 1, 2, 3.
We'll see what they can
I think a ranked game right now. Oh, here, time out potentially even an ace
into the cosmic divide. Deny vision, but it's
Oh, kill to do. They already breach up onto A.
spray. Is there gonna be more? Goes for real. That's more. Is it?
Larry pops up, gets a hit, gets one more. Larry with 3.
Hello everyone and welcome to the grand finals of the VALORANT Challenges Malaysia Singapore Split 2. I'm Len, also known as Yoli, going to be one of your casters for today, but of course gracing me here today is an old-time friend and partner, Gideon Q.
Yep, it's going to be coming back and replacing another caster here at the grand finals. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what I'm doing here. I feel this is a little unconditional, but once again, welcome to everybody, and shout out to everybody watching from Astro Arena on Channel 2. Also, Riot Games and One Esports for the coverage. For the time being, we're going to be seeing which team is going to make it or get an opportunity for Ascension.
Oh man, and that's the beauty of politics as well, right? But you know, first things first, I need to get something out of the way before we get into business, right? This is the return of the Atoses and Tasters of the Malaysia edition.
No, you're just gassing me up. You're just trying to make me feel good before the grand finals here. Now, run us through this because this is Bleed versus X10. I saw their matches. It was looking really good, and Bleed has beaten X10 before. Where do you lie? Where do you stand?
Oh, that's a very... Oh, man, you're really putting me in a spot, aren't you? I put you high. I raised you high, and you sunk me low, man.
Look, I am doing you kind of dirty. I will not lie, but I think it's an important thing to start to address.
I mean, of course, definitely for sure. As it's grand finals, just like you said, it's Bleed Esports, one of the most favored to win Split 2 and of course rise to their ascension. The next 10, possibly one of the darkest horse. But if you think about it as well, Bleed Esports had literally 100% win rate, similar to back in Split 1 as well. Of course, with the addition of the fact that one round or one map was taken away, and that is, of course, courtesy of X10.
Well, I mean, the last time we saw that, and I did cast that series, we did hear from Legia that he was like, no, he was not very happy. They were playing really badly. It was closer than it should have been. Whether or not it's going to be as clean as we've seen some of the Bleed games in the playoffs already is going to be, like, specifically against Kizuna, because they absolutely thrash. Then again, it could be one of those days where X10 is feeling themselves. I mean, Redco even mentioned in the interview the last time that it was like, yeah, I just got a frag. That's the answer. I just got a frag. The rest of my teams will step up.
Yeah, and speaking of which, as we bring up the brackets, I do need to point out something here, right? A particularly really important thing, right? Because if you notice, this exact layout or design of Split 2 bracket playoff is relatively similar to Split 1. Bleed Esports will go up against X10. They send them to the lower bracket and they would fight their way all the way to the grand finals. Particularly, remember as well, the difference between X10 performance from group stages in Split 2 and Split 1. In Split 2, X10 was not able to get to that top 3 because teams were stronger. Kizuna was really showcasing themselves with better plays and strategies, courtesy of flaring. But then the one who had the last laugh here was X10 as he battled their way through. They literally lost to Enigma Gaming and Kizuna back at the group stages. Now they have overcome them and gotten back to the grand finals with the sole difference of the factor of different rosters from last Split 1, which was with the exception of Chrysania and Neff.
Well, here's the thing. I do feel that, yes, it is going to be a repeat of Split 1 to a certain degree.
Not the results.
Not the results, of course. But I think at the end of the day, it is a bit of a game of rock, paper, scissors, right? I do feel that, you know, X10 overall has a general play style that is rather similar to how Bleed generally kind of approaches the game. I do think that EG is more defended-sided and Kizuna is more attack-sided. So you can see a rock, paper, scissors. But of course, there's always got to be that one kid who's like Spock or Gun or Laser, and that's Bleed, because they've kind of covered every single one of their angles, and if they're feeling hot today, it's going to be tough to take them out.
I mean, they definitely have to be the hottest they can ever be, right? It is the grand final to decide who's going to be meeting their ascension here as well. But do remember, X10, I feel this is possibly the most strongest X10 roster we can actually receive this year alone. Mainly because of the fact that now everything has There are dedicated roles now. You have a very specific.
Okay.
Because back in Split 1, you didn't really have like a very definite IGL role. It was more like everyone's putting in their own opinions, someone voluntarily saying like, okay, maybe we should do this kind of call-outs, this kind of strat, this kind of protocols to see whether it works or not. While it did work out for them until the grand finals itself, when Neff was no longer in the roster at the grand finals itself. But back in Split 2, now they have their definite roles. They have Redco coming in here doing the Split 2.
Yes.
They have an actual proper IGL now, someone to really alleviate the burden from the rest of the squad, so there is no clash in opinions or ideas on how they want to tackle the maps. And of course, Redco's his backpack of experience, you can be damn sure his bunch of strategies and protocols prep for this grand finals.
I mean, considering how the duelist has been performing, I feel like, man, now that he doesn't have to like think too much like a duelist should, take that stress off his shoulders, just go out, aim, frag out as much as you can. But against Bleed, it's going to be tough because I feel like the preparation is going to be on a different level, right? I feel for a lot of the matchups we've seen, it really boils down to how much prep have you done for the maps to maybe catch you off guard for some of the map picks that they actually have, or leaning more favored towards too.
You know, and speaking of map picks as well, because of the fact that Bleed had literally 100% win rate throughout the entire upper bracket, they actually have priority bans here. So the first two bans is literally going to be only for Bleeds alone. So when if we're talking about advantages like what you mentioned just now, Bleed is already ahead of the curve in that department as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that does change a couple of things, at least for X10, right? In how they kind of prepare for the match. And it's not like they had a lot of time.
I mean, like, can you imagine that they just like, all right, guys, we got this, we can do this, but you just get the call. Bleed gets the priority 2 bans. Like, all right, we're off to a good start.
I guess we'll just get Lotus and Pearl. Wow. Incredible. Imagine having to play Bleed on Ascent. Oh, no. Who would have saw that coming? Would have been nice to ban it out, but I can't. I get it, right? It's not exactly the best in the world, but hey, it's going to be as good as it gets.
Definitely for sure. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you are wondering who these cowboys are, Bleed Esports in particular, go come and check out this quick video.
Slowly step by step. And
They're going to try to line up. And Scary repositions one instantly. 1, 2, 3, knocks him down.
Really have any smokes here to assist them into entering the site, but oh my goodness, Crazy Guy and Juicy.
Now, Nigma Game is going to repeat the previous round here. They don't check that Scary's up there. He's got triple.
They get a second. He's gonna get Egoist. Yes, Egoist is dead instantly. Spray transfer from Neff to take out Temp.
But all the defensive utilities are dead. Crazy Guy gets 1, gets 2, gets 3, gets 4, gets the ball. It's gonna be an ace for Crazy Guy.
Oh, and that was literally a quick highlight of what has been their journey throughout Split 2, throughout the group stage to the playoffs. And of course, these are your lineups, starting off with their IGL, Crazy Guy, followed with Darian, Juicy, Neff, and of course, Scary.
I mean, this is the team that has been expected to win the entire day today, to win all the way to Ascensions, and hopefully get a representative here from MYSG to make it to the big leagues. And Crazy Guy, Darian, Juicy, Neff, and as well as Scary, all very prominent players, all having wide repertoires in terms of achievements.
Definitely for sure. And of course, Darren is definitely planning to up that reputation, to take it to a whole higher plane here, because he is the oldest player in Bleed Esports. Not oldest in terms of Esports experience, but the oldest player as one of the original roster for Bleed Esports, still remaining, by the way, from the very beginning of VCT 1.
And just like any old player, he still gets his hands on Jet on Pearl once in a while. You know,
once in a while.
You never know when he's gonna sit on a duelist, even though he has been playing a majority of his matches on KJ.
Which he has also quoted as well from time to time. You know, he said like, I wish I can get back to that duelist role, because from the very beginning when he joined Bleed, not this year, of course, many years back, he was actually the duelist player. So now that the fact that he is had to surrender the role to Juicy here, not to say who's the better player, but of course, like you said, if we go to the map of Pearl, which I think we might actually go to the map of Pearl today since it's the best of 5, I think potentially we could see a double duelist, or, you know, Legia just decide like, nah, I'm just going to slap you back in that kill.
Let's see where his mind is going to be at. I do expect at least a double duelist at some point of time. It's very fun to see it. I get very tired looking.
Maybe bind.
Oh, okay. I can see your argument there. I can see your argument there for sure. But overall, I do think that, you know, the preparation for X10 is going to be quite difficult. There's a lot less games to kind of analyze how exactly Bleed generally kind of approaches the map, because usually the way they approach the map is analyzing the team first and how to adapt their own set plays to kind of overcome.
But let's be honest, you talk about analyzing the team, they have, I guess you could say, a few series of first-hand experience from the group stages and in the upper bracket. They're somewhat prepped for it as well. But remember, X10 has been excelling at really drawing out Bleed Esports players right into really uncomfortable zones. I think some of the few series you actually watch from some of Bleed's interaction with X10 players is they get the first few fields from the first few rounds, and they quickly adjust and adapt, setting in their own personal protocols, because they know that Bleed Esports players are very initiative and very eager to get plays.
To be fair, the last time that they did play, the biggest problem was that Bleed weren't taking fights that they necessarily had to control very key points on the map, right? The POIs, points of interest. And unfortunately, during that time, didn't go that well. I'm hopefully going to expect Bleed to be playing like how they met up with Kizuna, where they just take the initiative, because why not? You shouldn't give them space if it's not fought for or undeserved.
Definitely, for sure. But of course, let's quickly bring up X10 to see how these Cowboys and these Dark Horses prep for us here today.
Tries to go for it, and the teammates they are going to be checking him. The sprays come out, he gets him in the end. Can he go for 2? Yes, he does. Sight, but Sight are playing the post-prep plays, but it's a firing squad for X10. Vera.
He has to go one more, but Egoist finds him. Crazy guy right behind him. He's gonna fight someone.
I felt the X10 just succumbed to his spray because he just got hit by the fall. Oh, beautiful opportunity.
Hello.
They're being chilling. They're in. They just want to play. Come on, they just want to play.
What was that? That was a sacrificial laugh.
X10, starting off with Egoist, Redco, Temps, Vera, and as well as Wayne, has been a roster that people have been continuously questioning, all right? Oh man, they've reformatted again. Oh no, it's going to be a roster shuffle. But I think, you know, X10 has finally come to a comfortable spot, especially in the meta of Valorant, and more importantly so, have brought it all the way up, dropping into lower brackets and making it to the end to face their rivals Bleed once more.
Yeah, and then the best part about this as well, because now with this new addition, right, with the proper roles being assigned to each of these players, right, at the same time, now they feel like a proper cog in the machine that can actually function and click pretty well at the same time here.
I mean, when they click, I feel like if there was a degree of nervousness coming into the playoffs, right, you could definitely tell in their first BO3 didn't exactly work out well, but then you start to see them get a little bit more comfortable, all right?
Yeah.
They understand that, honestly, playing with regrets is going to be a lot worse than throwing everything at the wall, and we've seen the whole team step up. It's not just we're focusing on Redco as well as Egoist. It's great to see both Tempson as well as Wayne really start backing up the rest of the team, so that it doesn't feel that Vera's initial engagements or first contacts are going to go to waste.
And the thing is, I really do like the fact that you actually brought out a little bit some kind of a mental factor here, right, when it comes to X10, because the thing is you can have all kinds of strategy, you can have all kinds of protocols, right? But when you have a team that's able to capitalize on momentums and even like destroy the bonuses rounds as well, then you start feeling that the mental state starts getting a little bit unstable here. And it's no, I wouldn't say until the point where they're tilting here. I rarely see X10 really tilting in most of their games, but you can definitely see in some of those series, those best of 3 series, there were some rounds where you felt that the mental state wasn't really as clean as you can hope to be.
Yeah, because this is a team that's as cool as a cucumber, right? You don't get too many reactions out of these guys. Maybe once in a while it's just like a, oh yeah, but that's only after the game, right? Nothing in between. So I feel that X10 in terms of like mental-wise, right? Mental-wise, yes. It's going to be good. You know that they're going to play cool, calm, and collective for a majority of it, but Valorant is a very momentum-based game. One person just not looking at an angle for half a second could lose you the round and could open up angles to the rest of the team. So I think that, especially for X10, the way that they're going to be playing defense is is going to be a little difficult against Bleed overall, but we'll see what other strategies that are going to be pulled out, right? I think, you know, early rounds, early defaults are going to be in play.
Yeah, but you do have them, and X10 has been excelling so far with their turtles. They've been pretty well with their turtle strat so far. Not really, I wouldn't really call it a strat, but they're really good at turtling down here.
Turtling down.
Hey, come on, you have you not like a lot of the maps which has a little bit more of a defensive factor, defensive win rate. That's where you actually see X10 really thrive slightly better. I think even some of those games against Bleed East, but Ascent in particular here, where the defender side seems a lot more harder for the offensive side to really push. A lot of choke points as well. Not much flanking maneuver as well to really utilize. That's where you can see that really X10 didn't really give much of an option to such an offensive team like Bleed Esports.
I mean, we can go back and forth about this matchup over and over again, but let's show you guys the numbers, the stats between both of these teams in their head-to-head Bleed versus X10. We're going to be focusing down. It's great that you brought up Ascent here because Crazy Guy Sova with an Odin, absolute monstrosity. I don't want to face that anytime soon. But these are the IGLs, both Crazy Guy and as well as Redcore.
You see, here's the best about it, because I think I have spoken enough about Redcore, right? Let's get back to Crazy Guy here. An IGL that just recently joined this year from the very beginning of Split 1 here. And the best part about it is that the minute he actually joined, he started really incorporating himself with the team. He started getting the pros, like their advantages and disadvantages, trying to utilize it with the strategies he and protocol that he has made himself. And the crazy thing about it is that he is completely unhinged. You already mentioned you already mentioned the Odin. He's an unhinged IGL that plays alongside with the rest of the squad, which, like I said, there is this cause of concern when a new player incorporates themselves into a new team is whether will there be that synergy. If two players is a little bit more fast-paced and while the other one's a little bit more team-oriented, then you can definitely see the little bit of a tension there. That doesn't happen for Crazy Guy. Whereas Redcore, I guess you could say he's the impersonification of a team player. Well, yes, there are times he will play for himself to gain control of the map, or maybe get a really unpredictable angle to support his team, but he still plays around his team a lot more compared to Crazy.
I mean, let's see what map we're gonna get. If it's gonna be Haven, at some point, one of these IGLs are gonna be like, well, I guess I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna take one with me.
That's why I say something they have to play for himself, right? That kind of thing. But the thing is, I don't think Crazy Guy will ever have to worry about playing by himself because most of the time he's just always been rolling alongside with the Wolves because his entire teams are literally a wolf pack here.
I mean, it also doesn't help that Crazy Guy is especially good at these long angles. So by the time they're pushing up to him, he's already called his boys. He's probably already taken one out, and it's not the funnest of times, especially if he's Sova and especially if he has an Odin. But speaking of Redcore, how has his Guardian been in these past couple of days? Because let me tell you, X10, there's something about them, X10, as a team, and Guardians, because they just make it work.
Like, not just the Guardians, like, for some reason, even back at Split 1, whether Neff or Chris Sane was still in the team or not on the roster, X10 just have this, I guess you could say really God's chosen. They have this divine blessing. I'm not gonna lie, Gideon. They've been given quite a few God-sent scenarios and opportunities. Like if I believe everyone can recall Black is Split 1 on the map of Pearl, A main in particular, Neff playing very close to that corner, and 3 players walk right past him. I was like, how?
Look,
how is that possible?
Some days are going to be better than others, but I think at the end of it, we can all round it up to maybe just pure luck. I don't know how unlucky Bleed might actually get in this matchup as God's favorites, but God's chosen. Okay, we'll go with that. But let's look at that map stats here with 100% across the board from Pearl all the way up till Ascent.
Actually, I love the fact that thank you so much to our production team that actually set up this graphic because I actually read it out all in my little notebook here just in case if I missed out on any detail. But yeah, so far, everything has been 100% win rate except for the map of Split. But here's the very interesting part, right? Back in Split 1, Split was actually the map that was one of Bleed's most played maps back in Split 1. So when it came to Split 2, the fact that I didn't spot Split at all, I was actually pretty surprised. But of course, not too surprised for the initial half, since Split wasn't really in the map. Only it came in much later here.
I think it could be a testament to Legia's overall training, where it's like, yeah, we've got Split down. That's already one part of the maps taken care of. Let's start focusing on the other plays, and maybe we can start exploring. It's good to make sure that you are proficient, or at least have some types of protocols on all maps, no matter what it is, because you can't expect the draft to go your way.
Which is why, just taking from your statement alone, I'm just going to add on to the fact that, which is why when the map veto comes in with the 2 bans, which they've been gracefully earned for themselves here, I feel the 2 maps that they're going to be trying to ban for themselves is either going to be Split or Bind, mainly because of the fact that, not to say that they're not very well versed in the map, I'm pretty sure they practice it enough to get it to a proficient level.
Okay.
But why want to try to master on a map when there's not much time left, right? The easiest thing to do would be just remove it entirely. It's either Bind or Split because of the least played, or they can remove Split and maybe remove Ascent, because that map just had a little bit too many unpredictable factors when X10 comes into the equation.
I suppose, but I do think at the end of the day, Bleed has an overall general a much better idea of how to kind of play a map such as Ascent in comparison to Split. I feel like Split generally, maybe this is personal bias, and I would totally agree with you guys if you're going to be calling me biased towards this map. I hate it. I hate its core. I hate everything about it. I hope it doesn't show up today.
And on
if it's
that,
gonna be
we
a decider
are in
match,
agreement, my friend.
Oh, yes. That we can agree upon. That we can agree upon. Absolutely dislike the map, but that's our own personal preference. We don't know about you guys at home. If you like it, hey, good for you. You know, to each their own.
But of course, let's quickly bring up the map pulls here for the side of our X10 here. The course Split, 100% win rate. I guess you could say they are the most experienced map, especially in the entire group stages and the playoff itself. But so far, the win rate has been pretty a roller coaster kind of a draft.
Yeah, it has been quite the roller coaster, right? We can expect, at least for Bleed, to start banning out things like Haven in particular. It's a kind of annoying map to play overall. Lots of different places you can play for, but it's very standard at the very least, right? The only 100% other than those 2 maps is going to be Bind, which only had 1 game played on it.
I mean, definitely for sure. And the thing is, I think at that time when they actually picked BIOS, I believe that was actually during the group stage against the team Lurf as well. I think it was just trying to get to the rough idea, like, you know what, we at least need to get this map into the actual pro scene here to just get quite the gist of it instead of practicing behind the scenes. So
Just to have the stats.
no, not the stats, but there's a difference of pressure, right? When you're playing off the tournament and in the tournament itself, the pressure is a little bit different, right? The feeling is there as well. But of course, but you might be right. Could just be for the stats as well.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like you're playing against somebody who's clearly better. You get the win and you're like, okay, I'm done. You don't give him a chance. You don't give him a chance to ruin your KDA. You don't give him a chance to ruin that win rate. But I do think that Bind is probably going to start showing up in this later on match. I mean, considering if you're just playing off of the numbers alone, I think it's very obvious that Haven and Split probably are going to get vetoed out.
The thing is, I don't think they want to opt to get rid of Haven. I think it's the one map where it's pretty, I wouldn't say pretty level for both sides. I think it's just one of those safety nets, right? It's like one of your safe word, you know, the kind of thing you use when
I
you
thought
feel
the safe word was fracture. It's like, oh yeah, we're feeling very attacking today. It's great to be on a map where defense or attack, you just keep on attacking.
Right. But you know, now we're slowly coming towards the map veto. Right? I did put out my opinions on which are the 2 maps they either going to be banning for the side here. In overall for Bleed, I feel it's either Bind or Split that combo, or Ascent or Split. It's either one of these 2 variations. What about you? You did mention that Bind might be off the pool here, might be off the table.
I would say Split. That would generally be the most ideal, right?
Oh, great,
if you could ban it twice,
could be a graphical error, right? Just ban Split twice, right?
No,
one is not enough. You just ban it a second one too.
Exactly, just to really make a statement there. That would be the most ideal. But I think I would agree with you here, right? I would agree that Bind might not necessarily get played. I do think it, at the very least, worst comes to worst, might be a decided map. But let's find out as we jump right into the map vetoes. Starting off with Bleed, let's see what they get rid of. Ascent, looks like you've already called 1. Bleed, let's see what the second map veto is going to be. At least we might have an idea of what their mindset walking into it is. Thank God. We can appreciate that. We can appreciate that. Shout out to the bleed.
That's beautiful, man. That's just beautiful.
I can't believe they were doing it.
It brings tears to my eyes.
Let's see what their first map selection is going to be in this case. But of course.
Without a doubt, they have to give something back here, right? At least try to remove the maps that's a little bit too difficult for them to deal with X10 so far. Pearl, although it's a map which X10 has been quite, not to say very successful on, they only have a 40% win rate on it, but it's one of their most selected maps. So I guess you could say it's one of the few confidence picks throughout the entire group stage and playoffs.
I think, at least for Pearl, it's a much simpler map to kind of really break down, right? The post plans are generally straightforward. The lineups for it doesn't take too long. More importantly, that B side hit is always just going to be a problem for most defenders. And I think at least it warms up Darion, right? I think he wants to play Jet, and I think it's very clear that with the Pearl pick, it's going to get him ready for Lotus.
Lotus. And here's my concern, right? Because of the fact that if X10 was the one to pick out Lotus, most likely Bleed is not going to miss the opportunity to select that attacking side first here.
Actually.
They literally have a 70% attack win rate on Lotus itself, the amount of times they play Lotus as well.
It's crushing. I mean, assuming that this is like the general flow momentum, they want to absolutely smash Pearl, go to the attacking side on Lotus, and continue pulling on. Oh, I definitely thought Bind was going to be more of a decider map more than anything else, but it looks like Bleed are going to take a full advantage.
And that is actually particularly interesting, right? Because it's the kind of map which you don't really see often being counted. I also thought they actually would try to opt for Haven. But even more surprising, X10 decided to challenge Bleed on the map. It could be a redemption round or could be a huge statement to say that, you know what, this is one of your best maps. We're going to try to stomp you on it. And of course, looks like the safety net is going to be at the map of Haven.
You know what? I take it back. I actually kind of like the order of the map picks here because it feels very, Bleed heavy momentum, but if it doesn't go their way in Bind itself, there's instantly the pushback coming in from X10 and finally the even playing field in Haven rather than Split. That's already a big win.
I can see what you're trying to go for here, right? Pretty good. There is like stopping of momentum when it comes to the map as well. It's not too like where momentum will literally transverse from one map to another as well.
That's the general idea, right? Again, especially for Bleed, I think most ideal would be just 3-0, get it over with, save you a lot of time, don't have to play all 5 of those games, but I don't think X10 is going to make it easy at all. Considering their performance yesterday against Kizuna, it looks like they were very used to dealing with, heavy aggressive attacks on one side, double fake sometime, the natural Kizuna stall, you never know when they're just going to stop in the middle of their attack before re-hitting a site.
Oh, dude, it reminds me, especially when we were watching when you were casting the map of Ascent as well between these two sides too, when they try to do a fake on fake, and I'm like, okay, that's great.
The question is, when does it become too much, and when do you start getting clowned on for it, right? Because that's always the problem. It looks great when it works out. It looks awful when it fails. So there's really no in between for it.
I mean, it's always kind of like a 50-50 situation most of these times.
Roll the dice, man. Roll the dice.
But remember, X10 do have a little bit of that divine blessing, so let's see whether that actually is going to be proccing them majority of the time during this round. Because let's be honest, Bleed Esports, they're very well on capitalizing on momentum and even just like to break mental states here as well. So if X10 can somewhat weather the storm and try to bring it all the way to the 5th game, I think there is possibly a chance.
There definitely is a possible chance that they bring it all the way to Game 5. I think it's anybody's game at that stage, but I think for the earlier first couple of points, Bleed definitely is going to be one of my predictions here. Not just because, their overall stats, but I do feel that if this, chosen by God, this divine invocation given upon X10 is going to get past Darion's Jets up on the B side here, well, then I think I would have to agree with you.
And then it's gonna be just gonna have them walk around with the Bible, right? Just like a face of Vera, just the book of Vera.
It's just the book of Vera. That's very funny. That is very funny. I will steal that later if I keep on doing this.
Because let's be honest, ever since Vera came incorporated into when he first came in, like in his initial team, right? No names as well. He was literally the face of every team he joined. It was just Vera just making plays, and the crazy part about it, code by code, he coded it by himself. When he plays games, or when the tournament or not, he just pretty much switches off he switches off his brain, and his main directive is just to kill everything in sight. And he does go the distance. Maybe a little bit too far sometimes, but he will always ensure to get that kill.
I mean, I feel like Vera very recently in the playoffs has been kind of like, taking a step back with how far he actually goes, right?
Yeah, Rico really put a leash on him now.
Rick, calm down! Hold hold up. I need some frags too, boy. I think that overall, especially with the way that Vera has been playing, it's a lot more controlled.
Yes.
We've been seeing him not go too far and putting himself in like basically impossible situations. I mean, we know him for his like clutch plays and more importantly, his cult following that he's developed because of these clutch plays. Sorry, not cult plays. But overall, at the very least, we see that for X10, they've got a spearhead. And it's very important to have it against a team like Bleed because they're on their defensive sides, their retakes have been rather annoying to handle, and especially if Crazy Guy is still alive towards those last couple of seconds before the defuse. I don't know. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff.
Definitely for sure. But of course, we already undergo the web video. Let's bring up the agent selection for the map of Pearl. Not too surprised to see actually this double screen. Actually, I'm a very big fan of having this double screen or we do see a double control on the side here of X10. But let's be honest, they're not. This Rose, Harbor, and Viper are not necessarily considered proper smokers. They're more utilizing the screens a lot, which allows them to actually traverse their positioning, get a little more closer, make things a lot more tighter on that side, which I'm actually a big fan of. And of course, looks like our dear friend Derek gets that.
He's not going to change. He's not going to change. The map stats don't lie. Every time Bleed is going to be on the attacking side on Pearl, you're going to see the double duelist. And I think, you know, even for Juicy, for him, it's just like, okay, warm up. I didn't get my aim lab time in, so I'm going to use X10 as target practice.
Darren, things can go two ways for Darren for this. It could literally be literally a field day for him, or Lega just literally putting the stamp saying like, yeah, that's gonna be the last time you play.
This is your last strike. You better get frags. You better get frags through the cascade like you did on day one. Okay, I want nothing less.
but of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into our first round of the grand finals. It's the best of 5. Bleed Esports versus X10. Of course, the Dark Horse has a lot of work cut out for them for this round. And Bleed Esports, it seems like they seem flawless and faultless so far throughout this entire run here. And let's see how things will start things off here.
Yep. Things are going to things are going to be explosive or they're going to take their time. One or the other. Let's see how Bleed's preparation for this match against X10 is going to be like, or at the very least, what should have happened on day one of the playoffs.
I mean, rule number 1 in Bleed's gameplay, just kill everyone.
Oh my god! Just put a bullet and get a headshot. It's not that hard. Oh! Speaking of which, Vera already finding one. Doesn't check the box. He's able to get a secondary on, getting right back into it. He's feeling hot. He's feeling warm. He's got his keyboard sideways, so you know he means business coming into the B site.
Starting this off, and of course, Neff not really having the best of HP, but still seems like they want to take the leading charge and then make them have the body back. Here he goes, pushes forward, and again a nice side angle to get the multi-kill as they perfectly line it up and instantly break their entire momentum into that side.
Oh, really unfortunate. Crazy Guy was a little late on the rotate. You're going to use the recon. He knows ones and halls at the very least. He might not see the second. The timing is a little unfortunate for Heaven's side as Wayne takes him out to close out the round, and pistols go to X10.
And I think you could have asked for a more better opening for themselves. Right? 3 players still standing. They won at the pistol. This is going to be giving them a lot of confidence. And remember, Bleed was not able to get that spike planted out. So that additional income is not going to be allowing them to force out those Spectres or Stingers. They want to try to utilize that strat.
Yeah, good thing that you mentioned Spectres or Stingers, because Darion's like, okay, I can still afford a Marshal. This is still possible for me. Oh no.
I mean, he does have the option to actually save and try to opt to get the operator later if they do get the spike down.
I think that would be most ideal, of course, but once again, we are going to see a default here from Bleed. They want to kind of get a bit of a understanding of what they're approaching here, right? Because again, what exactly was X10's defense? Why in the world did Bryce decide getting close, but Darion able to beat out Rekko on his Guardian. Trailblazer comes out just to double confirm where exactly everybody is. Pillar has been checked, but no. Fortunately, doesn't spot out the man hiding behind it.
Darren really setting the pace and the foundation. Thames comes in, stopped up for the Guardian here, because we did see the Guardian plays coming from X10 has been a little bit on crack recently here, but because Darren still keeping an eye, but not really giving away their true intentions just yet. Still playing a little bit default here, trying to see if they can force out some form of aggression, because X10 is also they're also quite well known for this overextension and of course unpredictable angles that they utilize against them as well.
well. But it's also whether you prompt that playstyle out of them, right? Because initially, like the natural instincts for X10 is just sit back inside. There's really no reason to push out. They've already got the initial kill onto Crazy Guy, so it's hard for them to actually sniff out information because they're playing double duelist.
They do have a lot of offensive powers, yeah. The utilities are down and right into the side. They want to get control a little bit on the back. Wayne barely misses him. Nev uncomfortable. Eagle is uncomfortable with the fact that he got really nice and close, getting rid of each targets and trade backs. And of course, to get the spike planted, I'll end it with the man advantage to lead.
I mean, it's already looking very good. 2 moving towards Secret's side. It's going to be a 2v2 here. Who's going to get unlucky? It's going to be 1 and doesn't get the second. But Temp's able to secure 2, forcing this into a 1v1. Marshall versus Guardian. And Darion hits the shot first.
Oh, you know he would deliver. He literally has a lot of things on the line, not because of extension.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Couldn't get
the Phantom.
It's fine. The Guardian works. The Guardian works.
I
mean, if we can work it out with the Marshall, I wouldn't be surprised the Guardian just makes things a lot more better.
Well, I mean, you can definitely see that even Darion understands that a more expensive gun means a more powerful gun. He switches it out straight away. If not, he probably would have stuck with the Marshall. You still want to have that one-tap ability. That's the most important part. Looks like it's going to be an A hit this time. Not a fast A, though. We're still prompting for info.
She's on the mass things. Redco with the knife on as well. Unable to get to the box in time. But the cover and Darion ever so agile. Fast on the pace and fast on his toes. Trying to find even more target, but Eagles are able to get the trade, but trade it back instantly. Now it comes to the 2v4 here. A bit hard for them to try to go for the retakes of the round, but that doesn't mean they cannot try to drop some bodies and force it to buy for the next round.
Honestly, that actually worked out very, very well. There could have been a possibility that Darion body blocks Juicy from getting in deeper into the site, and that could have been a collateral for X10, right? But now, this should be a pretty easy round. They've already got the main frags of the site. Tams is able to take out at least 1 more before he goes down. That's going to be pretty okay. Could have been a little bit better for the side of X10 to hurt the economy of Bleed, but considering everything that has happened, we'll just have to move on to the next round.
I mean, this is really just like the best thing they can really ask for from that kind of situation, right? They kind of think it's a 2v4, pretty dire, and they were on eco as well with the Sheriff. It's not to say they can't do damage with it, but the fact that Bleed is just not going to allow them to get that opportunity, completely respecting the fact that what extent, how much damage they can actually do with those weapons.
I mean, the idea was good, right? Especially for the eco. They were going to try and get some space out by a main, and if they do make contact with anybody, look to trade as soon as possible to stop Bleed from actually getting the initial plant. Now, Bladestorm is already out. Darion finds one. He's blind, quickly uses the tailwind to get out of position, allowing Juicy to secure the kill, and they start moving on towards that B site. It's lacking 2 members here, so the rest of X10 are going to be rotating over to help bolster and reinforce.
They're definitely unfazed from the contact play so far. Now they're going to get things a little bit more closer than they're supposed to be. Redco, crosshair ready, shuts down the Bladestorm. That at least combines the team with a little bit more time. Juicy trying to make up for what his team, what Derek could not. But Wayne making big work here and will bring it back here in a clutch play for the quad kill.
3v2, that's all it took. Darion getting taken out by Hall side, opening up so many angles for Redco to start chunking out members from Bleed. So X10 able to equalize here, 2 for 2. I was expecting to see Darion at some point in time. Oh, no. That's only gonna, I'll bring it up later. He'll only bring it out during the defense.
Oh, man. But honestly, that quick step, like you really saw the contact play from the initial part as they try to overextend with the positioning to try to get control of that beam in, or at least try to get some numbers out of it. Bleeds were unfazed with that kind of close CQC situations.
Now we see, once again, Bleed repeating the exact same motions that they did in the previous round, except they're getting the drone out by Belong, making sure they have that information as they start rotating. Alt Orb already taken. They're taking their time with this one. They're trying to sniff out the utility. They're trying to get anything out of X10. Give them some information. Give them something to bite on. They slowly move back out of sight. It's too suspicious here. Something smells fishy.
I love the complete read as well, right? Because the reason why they're playing a little bit slower than usual compared to the first initial 4 rounds is mainly because of the fact that they already deduced to the fact that there might be a reposition of utility placements here, especially particularly coming from Egoist as well. Since he has been positioning around that B side, and it looks like they got the call here as well. They won't be subjected to the Nanoswarm. But let's see whether Vera and Thames can hold this line. And of course, Reko relocating himself in the Thames with the idea that B might be the next hit.
I mean, the noise is out, the spam is coming through, the Seekers come out at the same time to get all the information that they need. The full rotate from X10 has commenced, but the screens are a problem. Tries to get on top, can't even make it through the smoke, but it looks like, unfortunately for the side member, can't seem to get out. Thames trading perfectly, and even Wayne making sure that he isn't missing a single shot.
This is an exceptional one here. Really well played, and understanding where possibly they can actually be coming in as well. Darren instantly got caught up during mid-fly before he can come down. I already anticipated that he might do the flyover here. And I love how they counter utilities as well. Wow, it's so beautiful.
I mean, the hit wasn't as good as it would have liked to. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the screens are quite a bit of a problem, right? As soon as you start walking through it, you don't know what you're going to expect, what you're going to face, and it's hard to kind of get this sort of information with only one initiator, and Sova can only do so much. Oh my god. Okay, last time they screened it off and not gave information, Wayne was like, nah, I'm gonna get rid of this drone.
Yeah. But then again, did trade back for a huge chunk of its HP. Definitely not going to be the forerunner this time for that round. But let's be honest, Wayne has always been showing himself only at the very last minute there, while the rest of the team will spearhead towards this defense. That guiding line, that's a lot of intel you get out of that. Layer on top of that is going to be allowing them to assist a little bit better. But Thames will be able to get the spray through the smoke here, and that instantly stole the entire attack team as they fall back.
All right, the spam should be coming up real quick. Wayne, unfortunately, dying behind the sign, and now they're forced to have to just duel it out 4v4. They don't exactly have the best equipment in the world inside of Bleed Esports, but it's already a win for each member. They take out for the defense, pulling it to 3v2, now getting guns into their hand, and now Rapture is going to be instantly popped here. They're forced off of it. They could technically still relocate if they want to, but time is cutting thin.
30 seconds left for the clock.
30 seconds left.
They know this. This concave is not going to be able to last too long. Darren, although with 36 HP, but the responsibility of being the hero rests on his shoulders by Reko playing exceptionally close to that wall. They're diligent. Neff has the idea for it. They need to check for it. But Darren, he's triggered discipline. He chooses not to pick. Allow Egoist to go for the spray.
Oh my goodness, Redco. He could have revealed himself and instantly tried to double swing that, but they would rather 100% or at least 80%, more than 50-50 in these types of situations. X10 now 4-2 against Bleed.
Oh my lord, my heart just can't take this. And I love the fact that they're actually trying to like capitalize on all these bonuses round as well. Now this does put Bleed in quite the spot. If they do lose this round, it's going to be sending them back to the eco round.
Yeah, I mean, their economy is already pretty broken here. You do see that crazy guy has his ult. Maybe he might get a kill. But it's really tough to say because now we're seeing that the adjustments from X10 is to get a little bit more aggressive on their defending side for early information, right? They're expecting to see the drone. They don't see the drone on B long side. So they also start throwing out that Trailblazer down by Art. Only getting a little bit of information, but not enough to make a full call.
We play nice and close here. Vera won't be able to miss this shot once he gets that little bit of a displacement of a single pixel here. Crazy guy just might actually lose on his hand, but we did also mention the fact that his angle hold has been quite exceptional so far. Aldra is not going to be able to spot Vera, not going to be able to find out his positioning, allow him to get a very nice opening here with the existence of the operator. Darren on the hunt, he wants to get in, try to cut him down, combo to the defensive utility, expend all the Bladestone, not going to be able to find the second kill, but will force back out for safety.
Yep, lockdown being activated by Bleed. They're going to be rushing into the site real soon, but they can take their time. They don't want to get spammed through smokes. They delay their smoke for the last 3 seconds of the lockdown, gets back into sight. Wait, Vera, what? Vera did not want to leave. He was hoping that someone was able to trade it, but the smokes have blocked line of sight, and now it's going to be a clean site take. 2-for-1 trade in favor of Bleed so far. They're going to start playing for posts.
And now the post flash begins. They have one on the NSL, all preset as well. The pre-fire is happening at the same time. Wayne finding its target and finding their angles here. Egoist and Wayne will come down in a classic 2v2. Another defensive lockdown being dropped down, but you see Of course, very quick with the angles here.
Oh, the timing could not be any worse. He was waiting for a couple more seconds, but unfortunately the lockdown doesn't cover the entirety of the site, including a main. So unfortunately for them, they still have angles to play with. At least for Bleed, they will be able to recover a bit of their econ, but they're still coming in with half shields.
I think there was also the assumption that Eagles was trying to make of the fact that maybe it was just only Juicy on the side, while Nav was actually playing at the back of entrance, right? That's why he was really trying to force out, try to draw it out to a 1v1, take off them one by one here. But unfortunately, Bleed Esports absolutely been stacking with that solid buddy system, ensuring one with the fall, then the other will be able to follow up, or at least they will both hammer down the last player together.
Yeah, I think that's always a good idea in these pincer type of maneuvers, right? It's either you fall back and fight the flanker, or you instantly just hit harder onto site as they get right in. And Darion dashes on forward, looking for an opportunity. Oh, gets the scan, and now they're trying to spam all the way into dugout. Doesn't get it, but the cascade has blocked off the rest of the site. So now getting the spike down is already good, but they have to play for posts all the way back in main. And at least with X10, there's an opportunity here. Let's see what utilities they actually have, because if I see correctly, Winslow has this all. Nav finds 3. He might get a 4, but it's going to be the 20 from Vera who puts him down to stop the hat trick, and Wayne clears up the rest. It's looking like a great eco for X10 as they play the post. Wayne, he finds a 3rd. The Molly is going to take a while until it disappears, but they need to make sure that Vera is nearby. He does have the Phantom. They zoned him up as far as they can, and the Orbital Strike comes down perfectly. This post going so well. Scary takes out 1, looking for the 2nd to try and deny the tap again, and he gets it. It's going to be Bleed, taking round 8.
This is what I'm saying. Right? The personification of a team player, and of course playing for himself to gain map control and make those plays. I love the fact that he also has the confidence, right? He had the orbital strike. He can fall back, but also understanding because there's only 2 players remaining. One player will be chasing him down to remove the factor variable, allowing and understanding that he knows that it's going to be a 1v1 scenario here. But of course, winning out Vera in that fight was a real 50-50, that one.
That was not easy. Not easy at all. But now we see that Vera has access to the operator, looking down at B-Long. Come on, send out that drone one more time. He's expecting to see some kind of util be thrown out through Long. What? Looks like Bleed now taking it ultra slow, changing the pace of the map after having a fast A attack and execute. Now, they're going to check what's been going on with mid. What have they been doing? Because the last time they saw, it was the Sky sending out utils down mid. I don't know if Darion heard the guiding light, but I can assume he did.
The thing is, now they've fallen back to this, I guess you could say, trial and error more kind of thing, because they want to try to figure out, will there be any aggressive plays coming out from X10? What's the new thing that X10 is going to be utilizing in this round to try to take back the fight? They spot the turret, they know someone in the middle. Nav trying to go for the hunt, but Ego's playing a little bit safe as he falls back. They rush straight towards that B side here, but X10 right back to that defensive positioning, understanding that they're not going to take those utilities head on.
Yep, and I mean, they basically smoked the corridors themselves, right? They can look to move towards that A, or look to move right back into B once more for the re-hit. Vera is here to... Whoa, where did that Molly go? Where is that Molly? Did that just phase through the wall?
No, I think it landed on the roof, my friend. It went a little bit too far for that one, but it's still fine. They still got the spike planted out.
Yep, they figured out there's already 1 in halls. Now we do see them. We'll start walking out. Temps has found his first initial kill on towards that side. He's weakening and tempering them down. Halls is trying to get cleared out at the same time, but Redco has already found 2 and cleans it up fast. What a retake from X10.
Oh, they really played with the time there. They knew already there's not much utilities for Bleed to play around with, especially for the postman. That's why they're a little bit more frontal onto the site. But you do also need to take into the account of that. Bleed Esports to secure that plan. The amount of fakes they had, like the first fake, then the second one did allow some members of X10 to start rotating back towards that A side through spawn, because they thought, that's a lot of utilities. But there's still no follow-up with it. Something might not be right. So that second fake did work out. But like I said, there's a lot of utility to really sell out to really get that plant.
I feel like even with Bleed trying to really sell this fake, they had a lot of options, right? In terms of pathways that they could have gone for. They could have easily rotated back into A because they basically smoked themselves off from corridor side. And majority of their members were looking for interceptions or people trying to aggressively rotate into B from B Link maybe even through spawn. If they were able to catch out one of them, that would have been ideal.
I think the number of bodies that was still remaining from all those utility using for sellouts here was not really giving them the confidence enough for them to really follow up with it, I guess. That's why they had to utilize a little bit more. But of course, still playing with the time, Bleed doesn't mind tunneling things out, but X10 has the time on their hands, and Vera, what an off-angle position. They didn't expect the operator to be so far out as well.
Yeah, but this means that they're going to initiate on to the ace. Moving back into Ard. Taking their time here, getting real aggressive. Wants to force this into CQC as much as they can, but the noise has already been there. Now they start moving backwards, hopefully finding one in the mix, and it's going to be Wayne who falls right for it.
Oh, but then that intel came in pretty clean. Lockdown comes in. There's going to be the offensive one. Covers majority of the sites as well. They had to take the fight forward, and Egoist was able to get rid of Scary. Pretty big, but they are forced to back up because of the lockdown alone. A second left. Can he get out in time? Oh, 2 players will be detained here. That will give them the time needed to get the spike point.
I don't know. This might be a bait if they push any further than this, right? Because again, the screens have already immediately come out. Yes, it's 2 detained. It sounds like a good idea, but now the guiding light comes out. They find one, gets the second, looks for a third, gets the headshot for a fourth, and now, come on, just give it to him. Give it to the man. Vera, it's a 1v1 between the Jets. Leave it to the Jets to handle business.
Bajusi's getting all these audios. Not gonna be too greedy for it here. Darren, he knows he wants it, but not gonna risk it for the biscuit. No choice. Juicy has to take that kill. Need to drop that operator here.
Yeah, needed to drop the operator as fast as possible. Darren, you could see that he was like 1 knife away. Just give him half a second more and he would have hit it.
You know, he's like, you know, Darren's like just like checking out on that list to show the layout later, right? Oh. Reason to keep me as the
Getting a quad kill there, huge for the side of Bleed Esports.
And the crazy thing about it as well, I think like the 2-person being detained, yeah, it wasn't really like a very significant thing kind of thing. Gideon, I felt like it's just an opportunity, like I guess you could say a buffer period to allow Bleed to actually get that plan. Because let's be honest, if 4 was still standing, you're going to be expecting a lot more firepower breathing down on Bleed Esports for that angle control there. Although, yes, most of the, like you said, most of the screens has already been utilized and been well placed as well.
I mean, of course, but at the end of the day, it's just the the raw mechanical skill of Darion, right? He's got enough, mouse space and sense to dodge the flash, turn back, get 4, and I think even then, like, what do? You look at X10, they're looking at each other, they're like, guys, not one of us hit a bullet.
I'm not gonna lie. The third and the fourth blade kill was a little bit more dicey than I like here. A lot more closer because he did miss. Like he did miss on the third one. Like
he did miss the third. I will give you that. Yes.
It was very like, and the timing of Egoist about popping in midway, like just the animation like slipping through the walls. I'm like, that's getting a little bit close.
Look, he's still got it. He's young. He's got it.
He's got it. He rarely misses those.
He does, but now at least we are seeing adjustments from the side to Bleed. They're expecting Vera to be quite far up here early on into the round, and the fact that he already popped his Blade Storm gives more than enough information for Bleed to take this as slow as possible. In the meantime, X10, look at the way that they're actually maintaining their sights, right? They're pushed off of it. They've pushed quite far. They've got plenty of info. They know for a fact that Bleed is just hunkering down, and they have the util to cover the other exposed angles, like Art, for an example. So now it's just being chilling, man. It's not, the onus is not on X10. It's on Bleed to start the initiative with the attack.
Which is what I was mentioning during the pre-show, right? They do this kind of overextension for positioning of off angles here, to whether to get intel to really catch them off guard. Like last time was just a clear example. Crazy guy just was casual with a knife. I was like, I don't think he's gonna be there. And I just reminded it, it's just this curve around. It's like, yeah, chill a bit. Vera might be there.
But
fair warning.
It is a fair warning, but now with the drone, this is going to seal the deal for X10 with 30 seconds left on the clock. He goes and finds one on his eco. That's great. Juicy, he's going to spot the second one. Unable to finish off the kill as he's already done the consume. They're not going. They have to commit to the site.
I mean, Viper Pit is down. They're willing to take the fight in the pits itself. It's an absolute slaughter. Scary, getting a little bit scary on the toes, but Thames was there to stomp the bleeding and to ensure it to not go too far.
Nicely played by X10. Wayne, I mean, it did come at a cost, right? At the very least, they did have to expand the Viper's Pit just to stop this. More importantly so, this is going to set them up for the future. Now, looking over at the economy so far, Bleed Esports will be coming with a couple of buys that aren't exactly too great. Even Darion just like, you know what? It's time to be selfish here. I could buy for a teammate. How about getting an operator?
Yeah. Definitely pretty great. I think this will be the first operator Darren's actually going to be utilizing here on the attacking side as well. So this can be actually quite scary or quite impactful depending on how it's utilized. If the first shot misses, then at least you get the intel that there is an operator on the hands of Darion. And if he gets the hit, that's of course the most ideal scenario for Darion in this case.
Yep, surprisingly enough, Vera isn't going to meet him on the B side, right? He's going to be holding double doors here, more control over mid than the site itself. X10 hopefully looking for some kind of crazy rotation from a Bleed. Ooh, the shot doesn't hit from Vera, but they get more than enough, right? They know that there's at least one there. The site lurkers might be around. They don't know which side it's going to be, leaning more heavily towards A. But look at the B. Look at the B side. Just look at Darion. He's hoping that somebody would push out.
Marcelo, because of the readjustments of utilities, right? So you're not gonna be able, Darion's not gonna be able to find anybody unless he gets pretty deep into that side. This spot, I think he actually spotted the Nanoswarm, I believe. Yeah, he did spot a Nanoswarm. He knows the killjoy. He knows Egoist is on this side. Thames is nearby to able to get the suitable support. But they're going to be making their attention quite clear on this A side. But they have the enough body for the defense here. Juicy moving both Wayne and Vera at the same time.
Oh, wait,
Spot the gun nuzzled as well.
There was that uncomfortable moment when they looked at each other, made eye contact, and I was like, "Wait, you're not my teammate."
You know, and it's crazy. And the sad part about it as well is like he has his suspicions, but the gun nozzle just gave it away.
Yep. Really unfortunate here as they continue out the round, and Darion just locking down the side for anybody coming from long angles. He's making sure to punish them as hard as possible. Almost a flawless round. Ego is able to take out Darion, trying to deny as much util as they possibly can as he clears up the rest of the KJ util for the post. He ends up going down regardless. A good round coming in from Bleed, just not flawless.
You know, if this was a different
Switching
map.
sides.
Wait, did Scary not pick up the operator? No, he didn't want to, or at least the... Okay. All right. That's a little unfortunate.
No, I think maybe this time the plan was going to be a little bit more fast-paced. I think that's why maybe he chooses not to get the operator, or maybe just, you know, a slip of the mind, you know, just like, hey, do you pick up the operator, Scary? He's like, no, wait, I'm sorry.
It could already be halftime. It could already be close to getting to halftime here, and I think
it's the last round before the switch as well.
Yeah, it's the last round before the switch, so at least they would have weapons. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. They have more than enough econ after that round here, but especially for X10, right? They need just a little bit of time to breathe. Let's get back into this. I mean, it's tough. It's really, really tough to deal with the amount of pressure that Bleed was able to put upon you. But I think, you know, X10, they're managing it pretty well. Like, considering how close some of these rounds actually get, it's not bad.
Which is, I actually love that you actually pointed that out as well, because like this time, whatever protocols or plans they have against Bleed Esports in this grand finals, they're not really overwhelming, but they're at least now able to match with Bleed Esports. And the fact that they can see this kind of scoreline 6-6 here, pretty even now back to the starting line.
Yeah, and I think more importantly so, like, X-Time, I'm very surprised that their anti-ecos have been this effective against Bleed. Like, the initial time, like, okay, you know, you were able to get 2 kills, but being able to kind of, like, mitigate it already shows that this attacking side from X10 might be really, really spicy. They might actually look to, I don't know, force buy on certain rounds.
I just couldn't believe that Juicy actually got that frag on Vera just on intel alone, right?
Just raw belief.
Yeah.
If I believe hard enough and manifest it, he will be there.
Oh my god, for some reason you remind me back in the day about the orcs. I'm a tank.
Yes. No, that's very accurate. Warhammer orcs are great. But coming back into this game, let's see what the defense for Bleed is going to start looking like here. So it's going to be wow, they just left Darion on B. He's just like, good luck, bro.
Because it's on relatively more longer angles, right? That kind of thing. He has a decent amount of time. He's a jet as well. So if things gets a little bit too not very close to ideal for him. He does have the escape idea of the tailwind as well to get to safety. Probably get a couple of attacks on him, but he still be alive to live to get that necessary intel. However, or I guess you could say Bleed has just some assumption that it's definitely going to be this A push here as well from the pistol from coming from the side here of X10 here. If you notice how relatively close they are between both Neff and Crazy Guy, they're willing to just support each other whenever they can.
Well, let's find out how it's going to break out here, because mid is going to get broken wide open as Art gets checked out by the guiding light. Instantly, you see the movements from X10 that they're moving a little bit further back. They're going to use the sewers to get themselves out of that awkward spot. And they're letting, at the very least, they're letting Darion. No, Juicy already finds the first initial kill to start things off. A clean headshot down towards Art. But the site has been locked off here. Line of sight already broken. This could force a rotation from X10.
Oh, that just hurts, you know. It hurts when you're not even on the site itself and you already lose a player. You just easily have no choice about the back off. They did lose one of their screens here. You can't be dependent on the Viper screen because it has already been preset towards that B side as well. So not much cover, not much smokes coming out of it. Probably Verabyte, that's only going to be utilized for himself and himself alone. And Thames, that blinding going to be coming in. It's all about X10 finding the respective targets and finding answers at these respective angles here. They have a rough idea where they could be. It's whether they can get their marks or not.
Yep, they're looking to re-hit onto the A site once more, but the majority of the members from Lead is going to be there. Ooh, it's not looking good. Egoist has already found Juicy, and now it's going to be a 3v4 as the fourth member finally reinforces the lines of a Bleed. They hold by Secret, holding as long as they can. Wayne instantly starts falling down as he goes for the wide swing. Vera finds the trade back, but on the opposite end, a quick cleanup from a Crazy Guy.
Like I said, completely unhinged. This man. you give a little bit too much focus on Juicy or Darian, and then Crazy Guy just comes in stealing the spotlight.
I mean, that's his general idea, man. I mean, he is an initiator for a reason, but I mean, you know, baiting your duelists, all part of the plan. All part of my IGLing style.
You know, I mean, that's like one of the few arguments we have, right, in the Valorant scene, where when you have a double duelist comp, right, you do have like this really superior firepower as the attacking side. But when you're in the defending, you don't necessarily have a lot of defensive utilities like killjoys, right? But with the Leer on the hands of Juicy, I think that it's actually pretty great for the defenders as well, for the retakes. Or they can actually utilize a lot of the retakes comps a lot more.
I mean, it's all about micromanaging, right? It's about when exactly you need the util to come down so that teams can capitalize on it. They're going to be hitting A pretty hard from our side. They know about dugout, right? I mean, yes, they do now. At least they know that one is by dugout side, but the weaponry doesn't necessarily allow them to shoot through the walls, and allows time for X10 to start walking in. The Molly denying the plant as well. The shock dart's looking huge. Redco is just taking it.
Oh, the man is just so on point with the shock dart, of course. Trades are happening across the sides here, but the spike has already been planted down. Bleed Esports trying to find the opportunity, to go for the retake, but Wayne coming from such a massive angle here, giving them quite the surprise. Now they're completely boxed in. When it seems like they had the opportunity, all ideas of hopes has been lost. But has it been lost fully? Not just yet. Scary still on the line alongside with Nav, but X10 is slowly choking them out of options here, trying to find the frags, but Sally, Egoist is going to be the final nail in this coffin.
Nicely done by X10 side. I mean, they had no utility for the post plants at that point. They had already expended absolutely everything. You just got to hard peek it and hope for the best. And the numbers advantage definitely put them in a good spot.
And Wayne, Wayne is just one of those typical controllers as well, right? He's just a lot more mobile, regardless of what controller agent he actually is picking on as well. Like usually you see this from a sentinel lurker, so that's like the typical thing. But Wayne just doesn't have that.
He just doesn't want to end up like Egoist, you know? He's just...
What's that supposed to be?
Hey, look. When you least expect it, Egoist is going to show up. When you need him the most, it's going to be either Wayne or Thames who saves the day. So, I mean, based on how these rounds have been going, Wayne has been doing quite a bit here. Now they start backing off as quickly as possible. They've already made contact down by mid. They might be expecting A again. The majority of the members of Bleed walking up together, hopefully get a trade. They see one, Temps take two, and Vera and Temps take one each, just sharing out the kills.
So unfortunately, the contact play was not able to be fully utilized there in that main side. Couldn't even get a single member dropped here as well. X10 definitely looking exceptionally great in this round here. Such a dominant round. And last one remains going to be dear friend Darian from the spawn with the marshal in hand.
A little unfortunate, but hey, if Darian can take out a couple of these weapons, that's always going to be a good time. It's very hard to save. Oh, he spots him out, but still gets the headshot at the end of the day. Upgrades his weapon. Oh no! Walks right into Vera. Unfortunately, hopping around will cost you your head.
I love Temps' just actual reaction. I believe his player cam, you can also see it as well. Just as he turns the corner, he sees a marshal being locked in, just jumps.
I mean, look at it. Look at it. Darren, he's taking his time, right? He sees this. Oh, no! I've never seen Temps just flick around so quick in his life. He did not want to get hit by that first shot.
And Temps' second reaction, second idea of action wasn't really to fight back, was more the idea of, he's right here! He's right here!
I won't get my weapon out in time. Oh, wait, hold on. Look at the top of that wall, instantly punishing Vera. A very good idea for the side of X10, but Bleed, they're comfortable and they already expected it.
That battle intuition in Juicy is so in-depth there.
He probably has seen it in one of his ranked games or something. Or they've just been practicing. Their scrim partners have been utilizing it a lot. Because again, you just have to kind of wait to see where the wall stops to predetermine that decision. And sometimes you might be too late.
Or he could just be on crack.
Yep, that as well. That's more likely than anything else. As they move off the site, they start clearing out the Seekers. Now Bleed going to start taking their time working on this site. They've already cut it in half, and they have the 2/3 majority of space. But now they're making sure. Oh, it doesn't connect. Oh, it does at the end.
That's so punishing.
Unlucky indeed.
And because of the water screen as well, that no one was willing to actually push through to challenge him at that corner. So they can only just hope for the best that Redco could get it planted down while he's being sprayed down through the wall here. But Goose, of course, able to get a nice trade by trading back right instantly as well. Temps, the last man standing, the hero of the squad. Can the men do it? Nep just says absolutely not. Tying the score once again, 8-8. We're really having this push and pull back and forth here.
Oh yeah, these rounds have just been bouncing against each other. Nobody has really gotten some significant ground on the other. Nobody's gotten a significant advantage on the other. It's either they make it into the site or they don't even get the plant down. With only 2 defuses throughout these past couple of matches, man, it is quite a tight game.
Dude, you also look at the fact that the order of the round wins, right, between two teams here. Blake is trying their at most best to ensure that they're not going to allow Accent to just capitalize that momentum. Just constantly try to shut them down when the bonuses comes in. Don't let them reset the wins here.
That is the general idea, but now they're going to start walking up. They need to take their time with this. They've hit A, like, what, 3 times at this point of, at this state of the game? Bleed, they're expecting something to happen, but they also don't want to give the benefit of the doubt, right? They also have insurance policies. Darian, this time, it's going to be pushed up far up with the operator. Once again, I was hoping, I was expecting to see this at some point. I wasn't expecting it on the attack, though. At least on the defense, you know he's reliable.
Screens up. Juicy, and of course, both Juicy and Darren, they're not sold about this. They're still confident that it potentially might just be a slow push towards this B, and they might be right on the money. Hunting audio queue as well, and Juicy is preparing behind the wall. Trailblazer is not going to be able to spot anybody here, but he will be able to get a nice beeline to Vera. That's going to be the freebie for himself. But Egoist was a little bit more faster with the corner swing here, and will be able to shut down Juicy.
Oh, nearly able to sneak up onto Darian, and now trying to deny the plant itself. He manages to get it right through. Scary Crazy Guy has taken out Redco as well as Egoist, cleaning up this round so easily. A good read and a good play coming in from Bleed, giving the only access point to X10 being corridor.
Oh man, I guess you could say they're really choked out of options here, because like you said, right, they've been hitting 8 at least 3 times now, right? And the point of engagement has been relatively the same. You can even see the positioning coming from Bleed. They already have their protocols, their defensive protocols already set for that A. But just in case, Darien and Juicy, they were not sold about this. They still are willing to reposition themselves quite far forward, risking themselves just for their intel here, but not really overextending. And since as time was dwindling away, and there's not getting any follow-up for utility, they know for sure the next attempt is going to be a very massive one. So then repositioning was an excellent read from Bleed.
Yeah, I think especially with the process of elimination, right? They had pushed up angles. They already had Darion really far up it towards B long. So the only places that you could technically give space to X10 is going to be B corridor, as well as just a little bit of length on the A main. And again, as you mentioned, the time was running thin, so at least they knew what to expect. Coming into these next couple of rounds here, at least for X10, they need to start thinking about opportunities or how exactly they're going to get onto the site, right? Especially when you have double controllers and you are playing that harbor. There's a couple of times that these these plants have just been absolutely stopped by Crazy Guy, especially when you have multiple members shooting at the cove to break that shield early on. Ooh, you're so susceptible to just getting wall banged.
Worst part is also the last round of the loose bonus as well. An opportunity for Bleed to literally break this push and pull kind of a scenario for themselves here. Unless X10 has something else to say about it, they do have the lockdown here alongside with the rupture. That's pretty great for the post plan as well.
They reveal information with the Sova Dart, only picking up Vera so far. Bleed, they're not over-rotating for this just yet. They don't know whether they're just trying to sell the fake off of that recon info or not. But they hear 2 shots, 3 shots. They hear the Cloudburst come in. Now they're going to be spilling into the site, right? Once again, just trying to stop them as they drop the Rapture. Scary already finds one onto Temps through the smokes. And now, looking through the screens, they've got the information. Hunter, oh no! He stops it. Now going to go for the lockdown as well.
Unbelievable. Literally forces Vera right on the open, just from the ultimate zone, right into the kill zone as well. Trying to look for a couple of ball frags, jumping down the orbital tray in hopes to try to destroy the defender's lockdown, but not going to be able to find anyone to the sidelines here. They try to go for the defuse. They managed to get it halfway. That's the goal. They still have the man advantage. They will stick for it. They have the lockdown for it. And Wayne and Egoist is just gonna, the only thing they can really do right now is trying to drop as many bodies on Bleed Esports members. But with that being said, Gideon, we have finally broken out of this push and pull scenario, this tug of war.
Yeah, they managed to get 3 rounds in a row here. I think that's one of those alt economy diffs here. Orbital strike, the orbital strike getting called down to cancel out the lockdown from X10, and then their own defensive lockdown to force them off the side. Just so many alts to deal with.
You know, the craziest part about it was that they actually just forced Vera out of the open just on the Hunter's Fury. And then you have Nev just waiting for him at the sidelines like, surprise! Where are you gonna run?
Exactly, it's just too many things to deal with. But once again, we've seen X10 looking to try and get onto A once more. Red Coat is going to get healed off of that. The spam to the smokes are very evident between these double controllers.
And the worst part, they're now a little bit more confident here, especially with the Aldron pushing out from mid, and of course, Eagle's pushing out, but they managed to get the first blood being drawn side here.
Okay, they get a majority of the utility from Bleed, to be fair. But now the question is, 3v5, unless they're able to get the plant down, I don't see X10 making it out alive. Wayne hiding from our side. He swings out, able to get one at the very least. Nev trades and Red Coat just quickly follows up. He notices one by Flower's side. He knows that Dugout has a member as well. Drops the Cove in an off-angle position. Let's see if they can get the plant down. They still have 30 seconds to work with. Looking for the opportunity. Crazy Guy wins his fight, and as well as Juicy from both their positions.
It was so dependent for, I believe it was Rico for the first one to fall before the last player as well, to actually gain control of that sidelines here. That would at least give a little bit more breathing room for X10 to try to gain even more control of the backer side. But unfortunately, Bleed able to just sniff them out here.
Yeah, boy. This is, I mean, Bleed's really running away with this. Like, X10 have not really changed things too much. They try kind of slow pushing, throw one person in, see how much of the utility they can bait out so they can plant afterwards, but they lost too many members in the process. So do you really want to sacrifice that member, though?
I mean, that is somewhat of an option, right? But I feel like that kind of thing for X10 is more like a last resort kind of scenario, right? Because they've been doing well so far, trying to just equalize things out with Bleed with their protocols. However, Bleed is very quick to adjust and adapt to these strategies and positioning as well, and off angles here. And also adding a little bit of a twist on themselves where they're just constantly picking up players they're not supposed to be picking off in the first place.
They start walking in through Art this time, a different angle, a different way to approach the site. They're trying to clear out the util as soon as possible. Vera has opened up the space. Now Bleed have to take a back foot. The Cascade is going to screen them off. They're going to check for info. They know that dugout is clear. Now, this is where it gets tough. Finally, X10 going to be playing for post plans with a Viper's Pit on site.
Oh, this is a lot more cleaner, a lot more comfortable for X10 as well. With the benefits of the Viper's Pit, now they only have to play nice and close. But scary! How can you get away with that kind of thing? But of course, treatments are happening. Attempts are still keeping the team alive and well. As long as the Viper is still alive, Wayne still lives, the Viper Pit will stay and will hold. Nothing that they can try to do to take this head on. But a shorty play is making quick work of each of them in the pit. Wayne, the last one will fall. Left goes the Eagles, but there's just not enough time here. X10 will take back the round, but they lost all 5 players. Sometimes, even though X10 won the round, Gideon, but it doesn't feel that they won the war.
I mean, it's as good as it gets, right? At least they got the operator out of the hands. They hurt the economy of their opponents, but man, really unlucky here. Just shorty diff. What can I say? It's just shorty diff, right? You get into it, they drop smokes all inside the pit as well to really limit visibility.
The craziest part about it as well is how Scary got away with it, right? Because Vera was crosshair focused already. He spotted the gun, was already started spraying through, but Scary still got away with it. It's not just it's not just one player, but 3 players fell to the shorty. And like I said, even though X10 won the round, it didn't really stimulate their economy at all because all 5 died in the process.
Look, it's as good as it gets, right? At least you get a round win against Bleed. They're currently at 11, right? You don't want to give them match point just yet.
I mean, yeah, but Darren and everyone did fall behind the economy. They're like, hey, we're not going to gain the bonus one from the win, but we're going to get all the kill economy.
Look, just one more time. They'll just hit A one more time. This time it'll work out. This time it'll be cleaner than ever, right? That's what we're hoping for. And that's probably the thought process here. Is X10 once again through Art's side. They're going to break it early. They're going to drop the secrets to figure out how many members are going to be onto the side. They know at least 2, maybe even a 3rd one that they don't know about. But once again, same plan. They try to create space, but whoa, Scary already just holding it very, very well. Neff pushed up so far up. Shorties trade each other, and now it's a 3v2.
Returning the favor, the shorty revenge is absolutely sweet for X10 here. And they have the man advantage. Now, it seems a lot more better. Darren's a little bit low in the health department here, but he does have the operator hand. He can play back line, but I don't think he can really, is willing to challenge forward. I think they're willing to give up the round. A little bit too tight for them to really fight things back. Juicy does have the layer to try to counteract, but he doesn't have enough players to really cover each of those angles. So making a safe call, Bleed will fall back, will give up this round. And X10 finally bringing things back and almost equalizing the scoreline.
Are you trying to imply that Darian isn't enough of a player right now? That he can't abuse those leers?
I believe that's the part for Legia to decide.
I mean, he is 5 HP and he's holding an operator. You basically don't have another teammate at this point.
That's why I'm explaining. But you put out the points. So I'm like, hey, I can't decide that. That's Legia's job.
Nah, you could have just said he was 5 HP and he's got an operator. What is he gonna do? Swing out wide?
I did say that. They have to fall back. That's the safe call.
I mean, if they wanted to get aggressive, I felt like they could. But I think at this point in time for Bleed, especially, they need to start figuring out how exactly they're going to lock out X10 from moving on to the side. Because I think that the adjustments here, like especially for Neff, you know, realizing that there are set smokes that X10 actually drops on top of the site. Maybe he can hide in it, and that's when you see those shorty trades initially. But the plan doesn't really change for X10.
Yep.
They still have been getting a lot of success through Art, and I think this timeout is just for Bleed to say, no, let's lock him out of it.
You do must also understand that the fact that like most of their defensive positioning, especially the A side in particular, is actually revolving. It's been actually structured to actually try to pick off Vera because they really understand that Vera is gonna go the distance here. We'll actually get pretty close, up close and personal with them. That's why you can actually see them not playing too close to the side cell where normally players would normally usually position there, right? They're already reading how Vera would normally play. But when you're doing that, you do allow a lot of entry into the side just like that.
I mean, that's the general idea, right? That's why we see the early mollies, not just to deny them from getting into the site, but denying the plant. They want X10 to sit on that side, and then it gets super awkward for them because, especially for Bleed, they've got the double duelist, right? All of their utility can be abused on the A side.
But now here's the adjustments. Killjoy has already repositioning the Nano Swarm, no longer on the bomb, so now at the very entrance of the site itself. But of course, I think X10 is trying to deduce whether they want to try to utilize the A side. They're going to be playing back to default here, trying to get some firm up there here. But the intel will be same. That's pretty much where Thames comes in with the Trailblazer. This time he won't find the alarm bot, so he now knows for sure that the alarm bot has been repositioned. It's no longer here this time.
Okay, so you can definitely tell there's a different mindset coming in from X10. The initial sounds being made into a main early on, and now their lurker is able to kind of clear out the drone. Hopefully that sparks movement from Bleed, but they hold strong, they hold fast. They have a body instead of a bot. Oh, they clear out pretty much the majority of the util. The Nano Swarm is going to come out to try and deny the rest of his teammates, but Vera, he's stuck on site here by himself until the rest of the team comes on through. Guiding Light to start breaking out, and Vera loses his 1v1. Isolated, Red Cole able to take out at least one for himself in trade. Unfortunately, it's not going well. 3v2.
30
Gary
seconds left.
locked off, but still onto the site, making sure that he's not standing in the typical areas so he doesn't get wall banged while he's in dugout. Nano Swarm tanks it a little bit. Nev comes in just in time to clear up the last member. Egoist, the last to fall.
Oh, there was so much like pressure for Vera to actually win out that 1v1 in that site. Because that will actually lead to actually opening up the map a little bit more for them to gain even more control and solidify their positioning to actually secure the site itself. The fact that three players actually fell on the site itself and not much controls on the other entrances here, they were literally doomed on the idea of the fact that who's going to be engaging from where, and then they were just literally boxed in the kill zone.
I mean, every game comes to a point where as much util and as much you can macro your opponents, at the end of the day, it's about that gunfight, and unfortunately, this wasn't in Vera's favor. Let's see if they can do this one more time, right? They hear the Blade Storm coming in from Vera once again, but this time they're not trying to go for some cheese updraft to look into the site. They're going to take their time with this. They really want Bleed to sweat a little bit more. The setup is exactly the same on that A side as well. Smokes come down defensively. They want to give line of sight, but they do want to spam through it.
Well, the instant counter utilities, right? Just shooting one blade out, the instant the smokes, the pre-firing through the smokes that they really try to choke them out. But here comes the Cascade, trying to force them back. Smokes have been made, including with counter utilities as well, from the defenders and the attacking side as well. They pretty much have a very swift entry. Not much spraying through the smoke here, but they don't try. Will be at least catch one and two at the same time. And Scary will literally force it to scorch and burn. Instantly, two players gone. But the spike has already been planted down here, but not at the most optimal angle. Thames will need to take this fight head on, but for how long? Not long apparently, and Bleed Esports will secure the first round in our best of 5 here. In such an explosive manner.
Well, I mean, we say explosive. It was neck and neck for a large majority of that game, except for the adjustments made towards the very end. The ult economy was just significantly better for Bleed, just locking it out for X10. The boys are happy with that win, but hopefully they want to be able to go further on, especially map number 2.
Oh, man, this is quite the match we're hoping for.
It is quite the match.
I'm actually very satisfied and actually pretty excited to see how the next maps are going to be happening as well. But then again, we do see that this is actually a lot more closer than it's supposed to be. But like you said as well, it does come down to that firefight in the end, because let's be honest, utilities and fundamentals, X10 guards it hands down. They actually was able to get into the site quite swiftly as well. Well, once utilities are all down and all out, it just comes on to whether they can hold their own.
Yep, it's just you, a mouse pad, a mouse itself, and hope for the best, right? And I mean, as we look at these highlights here, I mean, these early rounds were very explosive coming in from Bleed, right? Trying to get aggressively onto the side, trying to push and pull, but unfortunately X10, as we've mentioned before, cool, calm, and collected, right? Wayne coming up huge on that B side, pretty much deterring Bleed from ever coming back there again, and then all the engagements happening on A.
There was also a few times he had this really good flanking maneuver, but don't even think about counting the rest of the team out for the counters. Yeah, Juicy apparently, I think, while Darren has been having a lot more highlights in terms of fragging out, of course, you see Juicy getting all these objective kills that would have normally determined how the round would actually turn out. And I think Juicy has been playing a very large role in that, including Scary as well.
Yeah, I think both of them have been definitely playing well. I do think Juicy has been winning out key moments in this match, which really turned the tides for Bleed after they've kind of opened up the angle. And I think at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, I think X10, the main problem was getting the plant down and how they want to approach these gunfights. Because again, Bleed slowed them down so much, staggered them getting into the site, staggered them from planting the bomb. And even after they plant the bomb, exiting the site was also an issue.
Sometimes it feels like all these screens didn't really work out as much in their favor as much as they hoped for as well, because it does work two ways, right? You do mask, you do obscure the vision, but you also do allow both sides, defender or attacker, to actually position themselves relatively more closer than they're supposed to be without much of a resistance. That's pretty much why we did experience from both teams, X10 and Bleed Esports, actually just constantly spraying through screens and smokes as much as possible.
And this is why I particularly like Bleed playing the Brim on this map, right? Because at the end of the day, your smokes are going to last way longer than any of the utils being thrown at you from X10, especially if we're talking about the controllers, right? The Viper smokes definitely is a hit or miss here, but especially when you're up against that harbor, you know for a fact that your smokes are going to linger a lot longer.
Yeah, man, but let's be honest, those rounds is literally a lot more closer than it's supposed to be. I feel like it did come down to particularly some of those rounds did come down to those individual skill play that really made the difference here. Yeah, or at least to break the tie.
Would you say? I don't know. I feel like with Bleed, it was more so those timeouts, and especially getting talking through how exactly the defense was going to go as the rounds progressed. Definitely helped them a lot more. On the attacking side, however, it didn't really feel that was too much of an adjustment.
Yeah, I guess you could say that in a way. But of course, these are your post stats from both sides. Bleed Esports and X10. Of course, Juicy is going to be taking the MVP and most likely will be the MVP of the round because typical duelist, always getting the MVP. And
hey, come on, the rest of them are doing pretty good. I mean, Scary was like 5 kills away. He could have gotten 5 kills in that round. Just the easy ace. He's done it before.
I mean, true. But I feel like it just depends on the maps as well, right? Because sometimes your role differs. Like, although it's still the same, you're still providing intel whatsoever, but it still differs because determining the play style on what map you're playing on. But of course, MVP. Actually not Juicy. It's actually going to go to the hands of Scary, finally.
See, control players get some love too, and I think, Scary really knows how to kind of hunker down on a site. What an absolute, I was expecting him to make some hard reads onto X10 to make the call on the defense, but I think, his raw instincts, and especially with the way that he anchors it, utilizing the smoke to kind of not only break line of sight, but he puts it in awkward spots in the middle of it, so walking into the site was such a problem already. You're walking in, you're basically blind and hoping that you don't die to a shorty.
Yeah, but my God, he has literally an 82.6% kill assist survival stat as well. That is insanely high. Something you would normally expect from a Jet player, really, since they're always in the midst of danger.
Look, he may not have a tailwind, but he's got some movement there, right? You saw him dancing in dugout, like, please don't hit me through the wall, please don't hit me through the wall.
Dude, he died.
I hear a single ping, instantly molly.
Does he even die within the Viper's pit as if he doesn't care? He knows he's having the disadvantage.
He's got a shorty, to be fair. Okay, I'm not going to take it one step further. At least he does have the shorty, but he smokes inside the Viper's pit, so already low visibility, double low visibility for both sides.
I guess so. But because, ladies and gentlemen, that first map was a lot more heated than it was supposed to be as well. Probably going to be anticipating more heated maps after this because this is the grand finals. Best of 5. Either way, we're going to be taking a quick short break, but don't go in for too long. More grand finals action coming to you guys right after this.
Hi guys, my name is Kong Ang. My IGN is Crazy Guy. I'm the initiator and IGL for Big Esports. About our team, we overheat while playing a lot. Like when we get the first kill, we will try to fight the second one. And when we get the second one, we will try for the third one. And sometimes that one will cost us the game. During the off time, sometimes we just go buy food and cook the meal together and play right after that.
Hi everyone, my name is Derek, also known as Darion, and I play the Sentinel role for Bleed Esports. One fun fact about Crazy Guy is he actually has like one of the loudest voice I've heard ever in my life. One fun fact about Scary is he's actually known for his calculativeness and calmness in the game, however he's very clumsy in real life. It will probably be X10 because they brought in 2 new additions to the team, which would most likely bring a positive change to their environment.
Hello everyone, my name is Pon. IGN is Scary. I'm come from Thailand. I play a controller role for Beat Esports. Fun fact about Dejon is now he is Sentinel player for us, but he really don't like to play Sentinel. Every time we play the map that he had to play Sentinel, he gonna say, you join again, or Zephyr again, I don't like to play, can I change? Yeah, poor Dejon. I feel really good to have chance to play here. And my teammates very kind, they are good guys. But I don't think too much, I just focus about my performance and my team performance. So we're gonna win the Ascension.
My name is Juicy and I play the duelist role for Bleed Esports. Fun fact about Neff is that when he eats chicken rice, he's scared to eat a lot. So he's scared to 加肉、加饭和加蛋. I think I would want to be remembered as the crazy entry fragger who kills 3 and doesn't die.
Hello guys, my name is Marcus and I go by the IGN of Neff and I play the flex role for Bleed Esports. So when Juicy orders chicken rice, right, he'll only order chicken rice that is worth $10. If not, he will not be willing to eat it, which probably explains why he is 2 times of my weight. So an advice I can give is that to just grind the game out and get better at the game. And another important point is to build connections with players that are in positions that you aspire to be in the future.
Gonna try to line up, and Scary repositions one instantly, 1, 2, 3.
We'll see how they
I think a ranked game right now. Oh, working on Star Out, potentially even an ace.
into the Cosmic Divide, deny vision, but
What's going to do? They already breached up onto A.
spray. Is there gonna be more? Goes for real. That's more. Is it?
Flaring, Poptos gets a hit, gets one more. Flaring with 3.
Welcome back, everybody. VCT Challengers MYSG Split 2 is continuing today. Grand Finals match number 2 on Bleed, 1 point against X10. My name is Getting Q, your replacement caster for today with Mr. Yolo Lee here at the helm to be walking through you guys Lotus between X10 versus Bleed Esports. And before this, we were having a conversation in the middle of the break. You're telling me this is going to be a fast Bleed match?
Oh yes, I actually believe this is actually going to be pretty fast. Honestly.
Explain why.
Because okay, the thing is, Bleed has been known always for their offensive capabilities here, right? The kind of thing, and they also have the strats. That's the strats, the stats and the players to really back it up here. I believe, and the thing is, while X10 has also quite practiced Lotus to quite the proficiency, but just similar to Pearl, win rate throughout the entire group stage has not been quite consistent so far. While of course, if we're comparing it based by stats, Bleed has a little bit more consistent, a little bit more confidence at the same time. But the fact that X10 will be bringing out Lotus first, I feel this could be a statement for them to really try to bring things back, like something they have really prepped for themselves. Could be a different composition, could be different of styles, but we just have to see throughout this entire agent selection. But first things first, before we actually talk a little bit here, I just want to remind everyone, because I forgot my sign. Hope you guys don't forget to drink that H2O, because Malaysia has been pretty heated, it's been pretty hot these days, so gotta keep yourself cool.
There's a reason why I left VCT initially. So sick of this sign.
I thought it was mainly because of the fact that we haven't seen each other for 2 years.
I mean that, but it's also the sign. You know, it played a very big part. But let's look at the compositions, and you know, you're expecting to see Killjoy on both sides. You know, on a map like Lotus, you just gotta have it with so much value in that ult. It's just a waste to not bring it. We are seeing a Sage coming out from the side of Bleed. That's to be expected. Probably going to be played by Crazy Guy at the end of the day. We're seeing standard composition coming in for Bleed.
Yeah, Bleed is still a standard composition, still actually utilizing that Sage in their lineup. While most teams, by the way, most teams internationally actually didn't really utilize Sage. They actually utilize the Viper a lot more alongside with the
double controllers. Yes,
exactly. So which I'm actually already more of a bigger fan, because when you have a Viper in your team, especially on the map of Lotus, you're able to actually traverse and literally reposition yourself at really nice angles here. And let's be honest, nothing can go wrong with the Viper's pit, let's be honest.
I mean, we say that now.
Are you trying to bring up the caster's curse here?
No, I'm trying to bring back that one round back at Pearl by the A side. You know, those Viper's pit was clean by X10.
Scary
and then all of a sudden,
it's just scary.
Come on, you can't be whipping out the double entendres into Scary, man. It's literally in his name. That's his brand.
That is very true. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping into the second map of the best of 5 here. A lot is riding on the line here for X10 here to at least try to prevent Bleed to not get another step closer to be crowned champions of this grand finals.
Now, this map in particular is kind of scary for X10 to actually approach, right? But this time, they're going to start contesting from root side. They're immediately going to find out, all the information is there, and let's see whether X10 is going to actually reposition, because this is going to be a fast A.
Instantly right into the side, clears out so quick. They know they have nothing to lose. Only pistols and friends and ghosts in hand. They are very comfortable getting this contact plays from Bleed Esports here. But X10 is still struggling with the CQC scenarios here. Spike's been down, Bleed has the man advantage. But of course, X10 is not out for the count, and Vera has a statement here and making that classic ring across the round. But now the responsibility of being the hero rests on the IGL Record Soldier. Oh, and he got baited out by the wall! He doesn't know!
He has no idea.
And Darion is selling it! Darion sold it!
That is so smart. To use the rotating door. The timing could not have been worse. Literally, if Redcoat just stood there for a little bit longer, he would have saw Scary re-peek it and then potentially had a 50-50 fight. At least it was isolated. But man, Darion, at least he sold it, right? You can see him. He's just making as much noise as possible.
Yeah, dude, he was just tapping it away. He was like, all right, keep it on me, keep on me. My teammate is not actually behind you or anything.
The warning shots were good. But once again, it's going to be a repeat here for Bleed as they're getting more aggressive. And this time, okay, the pace, good, decent pace so far. They're taking it a little bit slower, not as quick as it was in the first round, but now with the shorty, Wayne already fires one, gets greedy for a gun, gets punished for it. Vera comes in again, but whips! No, with a shorty! He didn't close it up distance!
Naf just tanked it like a man he is and keeps the game running. But then again, if they lose anybody than this, Bleed might actually not be a huge fan about it, because you are dropping rifles and SMGs in this round here. And another one bites the dust here. It's down to 2v2. Spike's been down here, but if Bleed does win it out, it seems a little bit costly for such a win here, since they did also invested in rifles.
Yep, pretty expensive here. They still have their main rifles though, the Bulldog as well as the Vandal. They're gonna start with the first initial tap. It just skips right over his head, and Egoist, he's able to get one through the smoke. They're gonna stick it this time, and now, unfortunately, the anti-eco did not work out in favor of Bleed.
Oh no, invested so much to gain absolutely nothing in that round. Cheap change from the kills for sure, but that's pretty much all they will get. X10 getting back the round. And of course, with the amount of kills that they got from it, they were able to literally bring out all the rifles along the operating hand.
I'm just surprised that Bleed just, they wanted to go for a fast day again. I thought they were going to really take their time with this one because they knew that X10 just don't have as many resources. And I think at least with X10, I think it's bold that they went for the double shorties there, but it worked out big time with how quick Bleed was playing. And now they're going to do it all over again, right? The same exact scenario here. They're going to get rid of the Trailblazer as soon as possible and only spots out the Sage. Sage is going to block off. Not as far out, but still having access to the site. Wall's looking good. Paranoia is good as well. Crazy get a very good entry as they break into it from Tree's side. They do see drop. Having one person in sight. They know there's two there. But at least with Darion, he's going to get that initial heal. Viper is just stuck in that corner. Redcore can only hope and pray that his teammates get there in time, but they can't reveal the information, right? Ego is going to peek. He jumps on over. So he spots out Darion. They know there's one by heart, but they don't see the second. It's going to be ultimate as well. 2 by drop side getting whipped. Oh, Redcore actually winning it out despite being concussed. This could be the big opener, 3v3.
Time is slowly running out. Vera got the tailwind charge as well with the operator hand. I don't think they know about the existence of the operator, but they're going to try to stick it all the way. Vera, of course, going to be grunting that nice freebie for himself, but the last one remain. They didn't manage to get the spike halfway, and of course, Crazy Guy with a quick swing, with a quad kill on his belt. Bleed takes back the point, and for some reason, the rifle has not been favoring any of these two sides so far.
Maybe it's not the problem with the players. Maybe the rifles are the problem,
right? It's just one of those games, right, where you have superior weaponry, but it still just doesn't work out for some reason.
Yeah, it really didn't. And considering everything, it's great that the rest of the Bleed members, even despite technically being on their eco round, they were able to get some good damage in, allowing plays like Crazy Guy with the Stinger to really profit with this high rate of fire. Now, again, we're the same exact plan, but this time we are seeing some contention for Mound. They're expecting somebody to start walking out, and yes, they get the read, they kill Egoist. You're not going to farm orbs no longer.
This is the one, especially since they've been hitting the A quite a few for these past 3 rounds. That did give a little bit of comfortability for Egoist to try to get that ultimate on, and it did come back to bite him in the end. Quick, a little bit different to try to figure out how they want to utilize this. They will always get room control because for some reason X10 is not willing to challenge them in this rules area.
The read is bad. The read is bad. Bleed gets to walk into the side, only finding one contestation. Oh no! X10 have to fully rotate for this. They have sold it. Crazy Guy walks up, they spot him out through the corridors, and they assume, oh, it's just Crazy Guy, it's a Sage, right? It's not going to be the entire team. But then Sky leaves, heads towards C-side, expecting it to be re-hit, and it was just an unfortunate set of circumstances.
Man, the worst part, because it's not like an Ashtar or Brim, you won't know when utilities are being utilized, so they had to get that visual confirmation. Crazy Guy gets rid of one of them in fragger for the retake here. And I don't think Thames and Redco can do anything about it. Redco, if he gets a little bit nice and closer, he can try to play around with the Viper bit, but he's just nowhere close. Every area has been denied to him, and they will be able to walk back almost flawless if it wasn't for courtesy of Redco picking out Crazy Guy.
Yep, and I think at this point, just let the bomb take you. Can't do much about it. They were able to take it down at the very least one here. I think it would have been a bit of a waste if they tried to go for the Viper's Pit, especially considering the position. Like you mentioned, there's no real good place to put it because as soon as you start walking out, just hail of bullets just coming down towards your side.
But then again, I can't believe they got sold for that one. Just getting Egoist picked off, they were just so sure that it was going to be potentially that C, or they're transitioning towards that B push. They didn't expect it to actually re-hit back that A.
I think a lot of it was just the giveaway, right? When you when you hold down tab and you look at the alt economy, you're noticing that Egoist is getting more alt orbs than the amount of kills he's actually getting in the game, right? So he's got to get these orbs somewhere. It's either B or it's C, and usually you would expect the KG to be somewhere between the two.
Ooh, okay.
This is a fast B.
Very fast. With not much to contest for them for it either, as well. Now we get the post plan here, and they didn't have to utilize much utilities for this as well.
Wow, they're going to hold from Heaven's side. Two back for the post plans, but everybody else is going to be pushed up relatively far out. The Trailblazer looking for that information, and unfortunately, nobody can actually make it in through ceiling because of the wall. Now they crack through the wall, they start walking up forward, they get one up in Heaven, and unfortunately, the backside people, and especially for those holding for the post plans, now have to contest for each other, going blind, trying to get through the smoke, tries it again, gets off the defuse. Wait, halved it, gets one more. Nev, it's all up to you, baby. Gonna jiggle it one more. Two times the charm, but the third time, swings, misses, walks back through the smoke. Does it? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Surely. Oh!
0.43 seconds.
Ah, man. He did the best he could in that kind of scenario as well.
Yeah, it's as good as it gets, right? They got all the kills. He didn't fall for the double jiggle jump peak coming in from Neff. And at the end of the day, Bleed, take it away. Now currently 4-1.
I'm not gonna lie, that fight in that B bomb side was a lot more scarf than I would have liked.
See, that's the thing, right? That's why I was surprised we saw Bleed have 3 members posted up into Heaven.
Because I think like their general goal is at least don't give them that high ground advantage. But speaking of which, now they're trying to contest for the rune control. Wayne will win out the 1v1 here, but VALORANT is still out there fighting for his life, but not alone, of course. Thank God for the Dark Clouds. Give them a little bit of a breathing room, but not for too long, as the clouds will eventually dissipate and the fight begins again. They trade it back, they gain the control for the runes, but only the cost of Scary here, and they're taking more names and more hits to the number here.
Yep, they're making sure that they're not going to make the same mistake. We're not going to go with a fast A and end up dying as shorties no longer. It wasn't the plan from X10, but it definitely left a mark for sure. Bleed are just playing this way better. The utility usage here, I mean, they're also putting Juicy on a leash, but Temps is going to be able to get at least 1 kill onto Neff before they exit the entire A section of the map.
Now they're making a quick beeline to C. I think they're very sure they're not going to be taking that B side for sure, especially with that wall being set up too. Straight to that C, need to get that plant towards that corner real quick for that to really reposition back for the post plan here. If I need to check, there is one more nanostone that can be used for this post plan to try to utilize, but don't think neither got Juicy. Absolutely lined that spray perfectly. That wall was a little bit of a spray assist, you know, that kind of thing.
I'll be honest with you, the wall sounds like a good idea for a spray assist, but man, the recoil control was very good coming in from Juicy.
I gotta
it's
see
like,
that
this,
POV.
perfectly done, and he holds it. He holds it. It's not like he let go for a couple of seconds. He was confident that they were going to re-peak.
You know, I love that actually for that last round, even though they had nothing to lose, they're just on pistols and Egos, right? I'm actually liking the fact they actually took the fight for rune control, because that did slow things down for Bleed. A lot of utility was expanded, of course, but that was actually somewhat ideal for them here, because they're not really near the site at all. That keeps them quite centralized towards that main, and some are buying enough time. Maybe if they had better weaponry, the round could have been slightly more different there.
I don't know. I feel like it's a little tough to admit to that, right? It's, again, 2v5 in that particular situation, but let's see what's happening in this particular round, as Vera has been taken out almost instantaneously here, trying to get control over doors. Now, they're going to start moving backwards. Crazy Guy is already down 2. It's a 4v4, but they know that at least the majority of the members is going to be leading towards C. Do they really want to deal with the amount of util that KJ has set up by the C? And usually it's paired up with the Viper, so they're going to rotate around. However, Wayne, he's going to start making contact real soon.
See, this is what I mean, right? The Dark Cloud stalls for a little bit more. He does have the parallel really nicely lined up if you choose to utilize. And the best part about it, they don't have to worry about. Sorry, not really need to worry about. It's more like they know Juicy will have to commit the tailway to go forward because of the fact that Dark Cloud is being set there. But just not to take that challenge because they had no intel about that area at all.
Yeah, and plus it's a one-way. So really, just a big waste of time. So they're going to hit the open site, which is B. A way to kind of expand. Oh, whoa, hold up here. That's a lot of bullets coming on through. And they start mowing them down. Ego, it finds 2. Juicy with 1. Trailblazer is going to connect, allowing the rest of the team to clean up Bleed Esports immediately after they plant. Good job coming in from X10.
Oh, man. This is what we're looking for as well. But you see, that's what I'm saying, right? completely boxed in, not really choked out. I won't use the term choked out, but really just boxed out or limits their idea of how they want to engage, right? Just maybe from one that Dark Cloud. If they had maybe like a Sky or a Silver, then maybe they could really scan out their runes area. But the fact that they are not willing to take unnecessary risks. I just went for B instead, though.
I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, it's really, really tough, right? You hear the amount of shots that are coming out from the side of X10. You need to make sure that they don't actually get through C Link, and at the same time, the plant needs to go down. There's just a lot of angles that you need to kind of cover in the B site itself, unless you can get the plant down super, super quick. Now the Odin is out for Temps. He's going to start spamming through the wall. Anybody want to challenge him just yet? Looks like Bleed. They say no, not this time. We're going to wait a little bit longer.
Oh, which also reminds me, this map is actually one of the maps where it almost feels like a requirement to have an Odin, since you can really get a lot of control from spraying at certain angles or multiple angles, especially from the rune side here from the A.
Yeah, I mean, from tree side, it's super dangerous, right? Where we are looking at Crazy, that guy, Darion might accidentally die just for fun, but now they block off the A link, isolating the A side itself, but you already see a fast rotation from X10. They're ready to fight this. They are ready to retake this side. They find one for the smoke. Next got to Juicy, but he wins out. Good headshot there. The Odin's still in the hands of Temps. He's looking for an opportunity, and now Packers will be dropping down, at least with the lockdown. They're guaranteed one detain here. And they're not doing anything about this.
They can't. They really just can't. They're willing to try to take one of the fight last minute, just waiting it out. But here comes the Odin. Wayne was able to get a nice pick up to get the revenge kill on Juicy here. The rest of the squad is literally falling in to get back control. Completely obscured vision thanks to the Dark Cloud. And Darion with a very cheeky angle hole here. Slowly picking them off one by one. And Temps, he's being juggled left and right. Have no idea who to engage first. Completely isolated.
I mean, he made the smart choice going in for Scary first. He knew that at the very least, maybe one of those wall bags actually put him low. And he was right. It did put him low. But unfortunately, the Classic is a very powerful gun. Oh, man. I hate why the Classic...
I mean, it could also be, it could be great lessons from the wise, like Ripcord just whispering on the mic. Don't fall for the bait. Don't fall for the cell.
Knowing X10, it's probably Yusuf Tayob or something, man. He's just silently whispering it to him sensually.
He's like Rico just whispers, he's still there.
But X10, they're gonna take a timeout, and I think this is a really good time to take the timeout too.
Yes, exactly. This is somewhat a much needed timeout as well, to really somewhat readjust in that scenario as well. Because some players can afford the weaponry, but not technically everybody here. So right now, I think they're just trying to deduce, do they want to really go all in with this, or do they want to just try to save and go for another round? Because there is still there'll still be a third loose round bonus here. So they're right now trying to make the decision whether they want to force it now or save it for later.
Man, what would be the right call? It's tough to say, right? Because
it's
so
a
far...
gamble. Because they can play with the Viper's Pit, that's the thing.
Exactly, right? I'm looking at the alt economy specifically. The Viper's Pit sounds like a really, really good idea, but let's keep in mind that Bleed also have the Breach Alt too. So at the same time, I feel like Bleed has a lot more flexibility, especially since they have the Resurrect.
When we can't think of something, we just straight falls back to whoever has the greatest will.
All right, let's see who's going to manifest their future here. Dude, I would be so sad as I said that somebody gets headshot instantly. And I was like, man, I didn't know somebody wanted to die that badly.
I mean, someone has to eat it,
Somebody has to make first contact, and I'm praying it's one of these duelists.
Like, it's just a matter of what kind of contact he's receiving, right?
Okay. Oh! Vera able to find one. The Resurrect instantly popped through, doesn't get the trade back again. This time we don't see early walls coming up from Crazy Guy. Forced to pick up his teammate, locks off B, C Link with the wall. Playing it nice and slow, and now X10, they're gonna have to play the retake, and they can come from 3 different angles here. They're not gonna be able to get backside, but the paranoia is good. Egoist walks in, gets a kill on Juicy straight away. Darion was able to trade one, but Egoist and Vera have cleared out a majority of the members. So now it's all about the outpost plants. They're gonna take their time. They find one. Great all coming in from Breach. They get a second. Neff is doing God's work right now. They even have lot of heal to play with. Crazy Guy is able to win out his duel and now left with the op. There's no way he can challenge two people.
Oh, no, he's got him. He's running for it. He's bucking it. He knows that operator. He's just saving for the third round. It's the third round. It's the third round lose bonus as well. Might just save it to utilize on the next one. But then again, I was about to say it. I was about to say that really keep your eye on Neff because that Rolling Thunder is such a close, compact area. It's going to be very massive here. And I think Egoist had the right idea to really engage it and address it as quickly as possible because he knows for a fact that if he doesn't at least pin one player down, remove one player from the variable, it's going to be such a hard defuse for that, despite them having the numbers on their side here.
I think it's about timing, right? Because you're not good at Rolling Thunder your own teammates. I mean, he knows for a fact that there's going to be somebody on that side to try and defend. So until that actually happens, then you're at a bit of a loss, right?
Yeah, that's why Neff was saying, you know, all of you are cannon fodder.
you're just one big screen. The cascade wasn't enough. Throw the bodies in there. Let's send the guard.
For the Emperor, yes.
For the Emperor. They're going to be locking off this side. Ooh, okay. So the Dark Clouds are going to completely lock off visual cues from Rubble. This is interesting. X10 are posted up very aggressively here, right at the entrances of the site. They're trying to get some early information with Vera on this operator. He gets put down very, very low. And unfortunately, Temps is way too far away to top him off.
Yeah, and the toxic screen placement this time for this round really does. It's actually making doing God's will here. But now Juicy got ever so close, making his intention pretty clear on what he wants. Break through the wall and just trying to get through the connector lane to get towards that B side. Crazy Guy, one and off angle with the wall. Will find great success here as he picks up one of the core members here. No more screens coming out from Rico or any post plans here.
Yeah, that was
Wayne falls too.
Oh no. Now it's starting to crumble for X10, right? It's going to be difficult to actually, with 3 members especially, try to hit this site. They're going to have to take some big risks. They're expected to lose 2 members, and the last member is going to have to clutch 1v2, maybe 1v3, but
paranoia.
No, the paranoia. Not even close. Not even close at all. Flawless round for Bleed.
That is so horrifying. It's so horrifying because of the position he got. The best part about it was that he actually was able to clear out the other connector side, so and how far positioned Juicy was as well, gives Scary the confidence and of course I guess you could say the certainty to actually stand in that position to set up a beautiful paranoia towards that high.
Hey man, you know, the changes to paranoia from what it used to be is definitely significant. Able to cover a little bit more area is always going to be great, and this is one of the few uses on this map that you actually abuse.
I guess you could say Scary literally foretold Vera and Egoist's future absolute darkness when they pushed through that heaven area.
Guys, they're playing with their eyes closed. Come on! Bear proceeds to paranoia them.
Because they pushed out at the exact same moment. It was perfect until Scary came with them.
Look, I think it's a little unlucky because for all we know, they could have had 2 people posted up by C-Link instead of Heaven there, and that could have changed things up. But ooh, this one way, always dangerous to deal with. And Wayne, he's just going to be sitting down. He sees the cloud burst, sees the flash as well. He's going to hide.
Oh, and he succeeds in this as well. He does fall for it, but it's like you say, it's worth it. That's that entry fragger. But Crazy Guy just knows how to even out the scoreboard and to make things more beneficial for the attacking side.
It's really unlucky because the B-hop was good until he got hit by the bullet. Man, that bullet stopped. He's got to be a little frustrated because I felt like Temps shouldn't have died there. Dying on the inside, huh?
I mean, yeah, because like I know the feeling, right? Like, oh man,
relatable.
Because like it could hit anywhere. It could even hit the very tip of your toes, and you still get slowed.
Look, bullets hurt. I don't know if anybody's ever told you, but bullets really hurt.
I mean, it hurts a lot more than Valorant, you know? That's how they think about that swing almost was clear perfect because they nearly lined up perfectly for him. But of course, Neff will be the final name of the coffin and Bleed Esports 9-2 here.
Man, I'm loving how X10 have some really good they've got, after the timeout, they've got some really good agendas against Bleed, but Bleed, especially with Crazy Guy, right? That's the key person that X10 wants to punish. Every single time they attack the A site, B-Link gets locked off. And especially if we're talking about that corridor that leads back in towards Heaven side, it gets walled. And Bleed are trying to post up very aggressively up front to deny Crazy Guy that option. And in the last round, in the last 2 rounds, we've seen Crazy Guy just decide, you know what, either I adapt or I start readjusting where the wall is going to work.
I mean, that's true, but look at the ultimates available for the side here for X10. 5, ready to rock and roll for this last round as well. And they're getting ready to utilize it. Look how fast spread out they are. Wade instantly gets removed from the equation. Juicy, quick to address. And now comes in. Counter ultimate lockdowns being utilized from both sides. Seekers also be committed as well, but they will fall back to the form of safety here, except for Scary getting body blocked by his own allies here. Will be detained and hold off.
Yep. But most importantly, at least both teams get to reset, right? It's going to be 4v5, and this B-side hold has been very good for Bleed, but they managed to all get off the side. And now, this is where it becomes a real brawl. Once again, the Rolling Thunder is going to be coming out. Egoist is going to take a passive angle for the time being, but Vera going to open up the wall and try to force the swing, but the slow stops them all. And the Odin, he just needs to hold mouse 1, but the concussive blast is going to be more than enough to lock him down, stopping that rate of fire.
The worst part about it is that because no one else was going to swing alongside with Vera. Vera was literally all alone, and they're all so grouped up thanks to the reset from the defenders lockdown. They fall back, they grouped up. Vera had a really good idea to flank from the back line, but sadly he's only going to be the one capable of doing that. Egoist is not going to push out with that Odin. No way. He's sitting there.
They needed to push out. When they heard the turning of the wall, everybody needs to start taking that space and getting that information.
Concussed, that's why I'm saying.
No. Even before the concuss, I'll give it that Crazy Guy right now, especially on these, like, I wouldn't even say sleight of hand. I think that's not the right term, but that's the first thing that came to mind, because this man is pulling out some magic here with these slows. They denied the push with the slow. They made sure that these walls have always been a big focal point for the side of X10, and I feel like X10 are focusing on the wrong things, especially on the defensive side, with how Crazy Guy has been getting away with a lot of the motions.
There's also the problem of every time Bleed gets onto the side, right? It's just so hard. There's just no form of opening for them to really breach back into it. And even if there is, the cost of life they actually have to expend to succeed in it doesn't really allow them to give enough bodies to actually defuse that spike.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying. I think even if I was on X10 right now, dealing with Crazy Guy's overall walls, the slows, it's definitely making an impact. The question is, half the time, they haven't been able to punish him just walking out from route.
Dude, then there was also the issue of the fact that Juicy alongside with Scary, they're both having this really solid body system, but they're always just positioning themselves not really at the back of the side, but really not really at the front of the side, but more at the back of side of the defending side. They're always trying to get towards the spawn area because Scary really wants to get to that nice position to get the nice lineup with the paranoia. That forces Juicy to literally adventure or at least conquer at least majority of those areas.
Oh man, it looks like Bleed is really doing a number on you, my good sir.
Oh man, because like, I'm having so much fun because like X10 is really giving it all for this, and Bleed is just throwing themselves to the board. Yeah, crazy.
I think, Bleed is good on just these split decision makings, but let's not forget that this breach is getting, this breach and Sage are getting so much value, right? Even in that very last round, Neff was able to just completely stop the rotational path from the A side.
Dude, like the walls itself, it works both ways for himself. Like whether it's he utilizes for himself or for his team, right? Whether it's like you said, whether to focal off or block off certain areas as an area of denial, or just give him off angle positioning right onto the double boxes, right? Like
yeah. Ah man, it's annoying to see how staggered they are during these fights, especially on B. Oh, fault line's already gonna come out. Now the aggressive swing coming in for Juicy. He finds one, able to get saved by Scary. They flash out again, and now it's gonna be an all-out brawl. How many bullets can you hit? Because Taps, oh my goodness! Oh, he was so close to getting another one there.
I'm sad we lost the last POV for that, but still, what a challenge that Thames actually outputted for himself there.
Look, he ran out of bullets. He tried to go for the ghost, and I'm pretty sure that even the ghost shots didn't connect. And Scary, he was walking up and it's like, man, this is gonna be an egg gang execution. We can't show this. We can't show this on live broadcast. broadcast. Turn away.
And the worst part about it is Accent didn't manage to get the spike planet, so they're not going to be able to force buy any Spectres or Stingers for themselves here. So with that in mind, I think Bleed is going to be a lot more aggressive about this because knowing that.
We say that they can't buy it, but instead, oh no! At the last second, he switches back. He switches back to the Sheriff. But now this is where Bleed start getting aggressive.
Absolutely cementing their dominance here. Although that was a really good pickup coming from Egoist with the Sheriff, undoubtedly for sure, removing Juicy from the equation. But that's not really the real threat, is it, right? Because if they're on the defending side, you really want to get rid of some of these defensive agents here to try to shut down those utilities.
That would be ideal, you know, especially, you know, just get rid of Darion or Crazy Guy. Either or would be ideal. At the very least, you don't have to deal with those slows because for X10, like just getting onto route was a problem.
This is just an absolute nightmare, CC.
Oh, wait, they can sneak their way into B here, but no, they're going to take the traditional method in towards A. If they just turn the corner now, it's going to be terrible. Now he gets caught off of the time, but Scary repositions himself after finding the kill. Looks to swing out wide, and it's going to be Temps who lands the shot.
20 HP and a Dream and a Sheriff in hand. No upgrade for the weaponry here. It's going to be depending on this first 2 hits. Spots out 1, second miss, gets the Spectre, trying to hope for a magic Dream, but no. Darren shuts him out. And that's going to be match points, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, and Bleed will be having a rifle coming into this round. Plenty of economics to work with. Oh boy, and unfortunately for X10, just not enough cash at all. I mean, they got the timing down on the initial attack.
Wait, this is the last. Going all in with this, and Neff with a judge in hand. Where's he positioning? Where's his bad boy positioning?
Careful.
This bad boy is going to be positioning.
Oh, so tight, so close. They won't suspect that spot. I don't think so. What a pick for Vera.
Both Crazy Guy and Vera have the exact same idea. They wanted to wall bang that exact spot. Unfortunately, Vera wins it out in the end. And now that means there's going to be one less defender, and they don't have to worry about slows, heals, or the wall.
But then again, there's still a lot of firepower for them to go through. That's like one of the first few layers they have to go through here.
I would much rather a 4v5 than a 5v5 here. And they know for a fact that KJ isn't going to be towards that A side, especially if they haven't fully committed to this.
But that's the thing, they don't have a lot of intel to play with, right? Because they only just picked off Crazy Guy, but they had no idea where's the rest of the squad for this one.
Yeah, and plus, Temps, he hasn't been using any of his utility to scout for that information either, right? They're slowly moving their way towards the C. The drone will spot them. Now the Seekers are going to get called out. That's going to give them plenty of information. They know that one is going to be rotating towards either Spawn or Waterfall. They follow it down to Waterfall, and now they have full control over the site. X10, they back up here. They're waiting for the regroup.
Okay, this is it. This is the one. It's make or break, ladies and gentlemen. Bleed Esports currently at almost reaching that finishing line. X10 will give their all in the 4v5, but it seems like they're not going to be contesting for this. No, they actually decide to fall back, play a little bit more safe for the bring to the next round, which is, I guess is fine. They have a lot of rounds on their belt here.
Okay.
Because if you look at the economy as well, because if they were to lose this one, they're going to be flat eco if I don't
I was seeing if there's any other factors other than just the eco. I mean, they don't mind this, right? Because at the end of the day, X10, they get to save a bunch of guns. And even if they want to upgrade those guns, it's going to cost a lot as well. So they're going to have to try and bonus this. And Bleeder's like, that's totally fine with us.
And plus, there's a lot of... I guess there's a lot of post-plan they had to go through, right? Defensively, there's like Snake Bites, there's like Nanosaur coming out from X10 as well,
Yeah, it's not worth it at all.
Maybe if they had the initial footing, maybe they already had somewhat of a foothold on the side itself, might be a little bit of a different story despite being in the 4v5, but still, either way, good call. Got to be saving up for that weapon. Not going to be able to bring out an additional rifle. Actually, was it an additional rifle or a Guardian? Actually, no, yeah, it was an additional rifle. Yes.
Yep, I don't think Neff is going to be changing off that Guardian anytime soon in the meantime, but let's see. Let's get right into it. Gets the drop, and now the attack from X10. They're going to be starting things off on 3 by C, 1 by B, and 1 by A. The one-way smoke is going to be a little annoying. The Red Core is going to regroup with the rest of his team, pick up the spike on their way before they hit C.
Seems like no one's going to be able to get that mid control. C seems like the goal here. Drop the Dark Cloud to try to stall for a little bit more time. The Trailblazer is clearing out the various corners here. We'll spot out Darian, but I don't think that's going to be freezing him at all. Nanoswap just to buy a little bit more time to deny Vera from actually diving into the side to go for the hunt or to go for the chase here.
Yeah. They also get the aftershock too, so that's going to be pretty valuable. X10, they know that they've gotten a bit of utility out from the side of Bleed. They're hoping to get a little bit more, specifically the smokes, ideally. But Scary, no need for him. He's very conservative. Even though it does recharge, he doesn't want to waste them. Slowly pushing in, checking the angles one by one. Slowly working this side. No lurkers are... oh, wait, actually, Spike is by B. Yeah, they're going to back up here.
30 seconds
Yeah,
left.
it's too much. No one was really willing to reveal their intention just yet, or nor their positioning as well. Scary was pretty much set up for the Dark Cloud. We'll throw it out just for good measures here, but they will be able to get towards the B side here. It did take a while, but they're currently in, and now begins the post plan here.
They got to take their time with this, right? They're going to the post plans, but they're going for a very forward post plans. They're not waiting by B main no longer. They're going to contest for heaven here. Vera sees one. Does he know that he hears the footsteps are definitely two? He's going to move out of the way, allowing Temp. Oh! He gets two! Unable to get the third one, but at least Renko is able to trade him back. It's Scary. It's going to start backing up here. They realize that this is done for. We got to save some money.
That's a lost cause. You got a bucket and run for it there. But my God, that was exceptionally beautiful coming in from X10, seriously.
It was a great bait and switch. Such a great bait and switch. They allow the Jet to kind of reveal herself, say, oh, look at me, I'm Jet, I'm here. You gotta keep looking at me. Don't look anywhere else. Don't check any of your corners. And as soon as he starts moving out, you could tell that Bleed, they wanted to get him out. They didn't know that people were holding down by the doorways.
I mean, it's just one of those scenarios, right? You just have to make that call, right? You have to choose whether you want to check towards the main, is he below the site itself, or is he actually playing in that tricky corner, right? So I think they were just really playing out, especially before they actually engaged into the side from heaven itself. I believe they somewhat weigh out their conscience, right? Like, if I would, in that scenario, where would I be trying to position myself? I think that's pretty much why when they flew in, they were just like, no one's going to play in that corner.
Well, I mean, the first person who walks on it is going to change his DPI to like 1.8K and just like do a quick 360 to get the map.
That's why I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't a tactical timer, but a technical timer, because sometimes
he's switching his DPI back.
It's either that, or we sometimes have that case where you flick that mouse, but you actually throw it too far because it's just too light, you know.
Destroys his mouth. It's like, guys, I need a new mouse. Hold on. Let's call the timeout. Call the timeout now.
Which begs the question, right? Because now we have a little bit of time, right?
All right.
Are you the kind of person who uses a very light mouse or a heavy one?
Light mouse.
Well,
I mean, I do like a little bit of weight to it, but I don't like the super heavy weight.
You don't have to carry a rock around.
No, it's really uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. I think the biggest problem I've been having with my mouse is that it doesn't fit my hand as nicely as I would like. I got like a big palm and some. I got shorter fingers, but a big palm.
No, I feel you. I think we're both pretty much in the same in that department.
Yeah, we got chunky little sausage fingers, don't we?
I mean, I'm chunky, you're not. But of course, anyway, back to the game at hand. Still at the same crossroad. Bleed Esports still one win away from winning out the second map and literally one map closer to becoming champions and ascending to Ascension here. And X10 has a lot of ground to cover.
Oh, Darian, he's just getting absolutely blind through that box.
Completely blind. I don't even know where you're going to go with that one.
Yep, but now X10, they're taking even more space here. And I think for Bleed, at this point, you've saved so much. You've saved so much.
Long.
Look, he's got a ghost, okay? You can't expect him to do more than that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It took so long, and we were just like, gotta reload,
The wall has already been put out to stop them from moving in towards C-Lane. Good
I can't believe he got that.
Eagle
wow.
He's lurking upon the aggressive push from the A site, and he's just getting frag after frag. It's Scary. Put a stop to it.
2v3. It does seem a little bit viable as well, but they're nowhere near to the site itself.
Oh my God! They just get the revive. They get the revive now.
I can't believe it. Snake Blast going to be coming, so someone has to stick for it, and while the other had to cover for it, will hold, and looks like that's the opportunity. He has to stick for it. That Dark Cloud is going to dissipate soon. Scary got to make the play for Vera, but he meant to sing to the side. sideline and saves the day. They get the defuse, got the 5-man pick off, and Bleed Esports will move on one step closer to their ascension.
They want it. They want it bad. They're shutting out X10. They're making really good calls. They're slowing down fights that they need to. They're speeding up situations that they know that they can win. Well done. Bleed Esports looking mighty fine.
Oh man, seriously, I feel that round scary, and both Scary Neff and Crazy Guy just has this really crazy objective killing so far, right? Like, we're not talking, it doesn't have to be like multi-kills or aces, right? Just the fact that you just remove like core players, like maybe 1 or 2 players, it hurts. It hurts, you'd be like, but we can still play. We're still fine, you know? We're still fine. You pick up 2 players, like, all right, we're in danger now.
I need an adult in the room.
That's pretty much what Scary and Crazy Guy has been doing so far.
I think they've been playing a lot more consistently than the rest of their members, for sure. I mean, let's look at the highlights here, and I think you can definitely understand, right? As soon as X10 is getting that momentum, you can definitely rely specifically on Scary, and as well, sometimes even Neff, right? Just shutting down the overall momentum and these fast rotates from X10.
And the best part about it is as well, like, certain rounds where you feel like X10 should have that, or actually not really should have, more like has the advantage, Bleed just somewhat figures out a way to flip that disadvantage for themselves.
Here's the thing. I feel that, like, especially on a map like Lotus, and having a Sage on your side, you really punish eco rounds from your opponents as soon as you get that plant, right? Because that wall has a lot of HP, and when you only have classics, you need bodies, you need raw rate of fire to get through it. And I feel like, man, it's such it feels like it's such a waste to be wasting so many shots and giving away so much information just on an eco.
It is definitely one of the few perks to have here. But I think, like, you know, like, across various regions, right, they do have their general idea of a composition and what kind of agents they really want to play around. I feel like it's not really to say like Sage is like such a crucial pick on the map of Lotus.
No, it's just what's being abused here.
Yeah, I mean, yes, what is being abused, but I feel like it only can be abused because of the fact that the Sage utility kit somewhat fits with Crazy Guy's playstyle.
I feel like it fits the entire team's playstyle, right? Because it's all about getting that initial plant down.
I mean, it can't be like Gecko. I mean, it can't be like Gecko, right? That kind of thing.
Come on.
Let's be honest, of all the agents we have in the entire pool, right? Like, everyone at least will still have some form of way to support your team. Gecko's utility, on the other hand, his utility feels like it fits more it's better for himself than the team, that kind of thing.
Hey, come on. You can't get a kill. You can't get a kill with the ultimate, but at least you can set it up for somebody else, you know? That's his support mechanic.
I mean, you want to compare it with the Sage? I'd rather not.
Okay, I would agree with you for sure. But I think, you know, the hardest part especially is just when the plant goes down, right? It's really difficult.
Oh, 0 kills?
X10.
What happened? Oh, no, that's first kill. Never mind.
Bruh.
I got lost for a second there.
You're gonna diss Mr. Blue Lock himself?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, Gideon, of all my favorite players entire Split 1, Split 2, it is literally Egoist, Red Core, Flaring, and literally Darren. Four of these guys are my favorite players.
Really? You don't like Scary?
I feel
I posted you in a very bad light here. I'm really sorry. I was really out to get you there.
The thing is, I had a little bit more like connection with them for a longer time. Scary just joined this year.
I mean, you know, looking at his past, track record.
I mean, he's a nice guy, I admit, but of course,
more than a nice guy. He is more than a nice guy.
Fine.
He is an international achiever.
Fine, he's the face of controllers. Yeah. Okay, how about that? But of course, either way, your MVP for the map of Lotus is of course none other than the completely unhinged IGL Crazy Guy.
Yeah, once again, just it's surprising for him to play such an unpopular agent overall on a map like Lotus, but he makes it work, right? He's making sure he's bringing out the best of the agent, and not to mention that his kill score is looking mighty fine as well.
Definitely for sure. Slow as a jerk. Everything's a jerk. Don't forget about the revive. That list gives a little bit of like that additional life for Juicer. Hey man, you can be crazy as you want because I have a Reaver.
I mean, here's the thing. So far, based on what we've seen of these two maps, Bleed like to have that sort of flexibility. They don't want to be locked into something like, man, we got to play Viper, we've got set smokes, and I only get to play with only one orb when it used to be two. So, it's unfortunate, but hey, at least Bleed has kind of found a composition that works really well for them.
I mean, definitely for sure. I mean, they are very fast-paced as well. I think we're definitely going to be seeing a lot more fast-paced composition to fit that playstyle. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, we're currently done with our second map of the best of 5. One step closer here for Bleed Esports. Will they really go the distance? Will Axted try to bring and go the distance here? Or will it be just a simple 3-0? We'll find out right after this break.
Welcome, I'm Rico and I'm from Extend Esports. A little bit of myself is that I play flex for my team, meaning I play all the flash initiators. We have good vibes in the team. Most of our personalities are like clowns and most of us just laugh almost every single round during scrims. So as y'all know, I was the IGL in Louvre and now I'm the IGL in Extend. Our recent IGL got benched and I was told that I became the IGL of Extend by Thames and Vera. I'm actually excited for this opportunity because I get to bring a whole new dynamic to the team and I could combine my playstyle with theirs, which will make it a lot more interesting for you guys to see. So everyone knows Extend as the Masters winner, and us representing them will mean that there's a lot of pressure built on us. And that's one thing that I'm excited about, to actually show the world what we can do. So a little funny story about Extend is that I used to trash talk them in the previous segment. I said that they'll lose to us the 11th time, but I actually lost to them. And to prevent the 12th time from losing to them, I kind of joined them. You know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them? That's me. As an IGL myself, I don't have expectations for the team because I feel like having expectations would mean that you put a lot of stress on yourself. I just want my team to do their best and actually do what we practice in scrims. That's good enough for me. Kizuna, you guys think taking 2 players from Alvia will help you guys win something? Don't forget Bryce, that I know your every move. I know how you cook. Shinsi, I know how you entry. I'll be in your heads when you guys are playing against us. Good luck with that, man.
Hi, I'm Wayne and I play the controller role for Extend Esports. Fun fact about Red Cole is that I used to play for his team for one LAN tournament and I played the worst series of my life, dropping single digits on both maps. And after that, I got dropped from his team. So now, being given the second chance to play for Extend Esports alongside with Red Cole, I hope to not disappoint him again. Fun fact about Egoist is that I used to watch him play professionally during the early stages of the VALORANT Pro scene, and now being given the chance to play with him on Extend feels like a dream come true. I would like to be remembered for being the Marco of the MYSG region, a controller whom my team can rely on to win their gunfights.
Hi, my name is Javier. My IGN is Egoist and I play the Sentinel role for Extend Esports. I feel that Rain is a very good duelist player from the few times I've met him in ranked, and I think that him transitioning from the duelist role to the smoker role, he'll be as good as DRX Marco. I would describe the team as a bunch of noobs because they always leave me alone at the other side on defense, and on attack they will also always leave me alone and they will only tell me to join them when they need me, and thus I feel very lonely.
Hi, I'm Vera from Extend and I play the duelist role.
One fun fact about Thames is that he's the noisiest in the team and always says random stuff. However, he's also the one that enlightens us when in every scrim and tournaments we play, when the mood is down. In a critical moment, I shut off my brain and focus fully on aiming.
Hi, my name is Thames and I'm playing the initiator role for Extend Esports. When Vera turns on autopilots, either he dies or everybody else dies. I would say the most played team would be Kizuna because they have the Gordon Ramsay of Singapore, Bryce.
Gonna try to line up. And Scary repositions one instantly. 1, 2, 3.
We'll see how they
A ranked game right now. We're working on Star Round, potentially even an ace.
into the Cosmic Divide. Deny visible!
What Kill to do? They already breached up onto A. Spray. Is there gonna be more? Goes for real. That's more. Is it?
Larry pops us, gets a hit, gets one more. Larry with 3.
Welcome back, agents. This is Valorant Challengers MYSG, the grand finals, and currently Bleed is at match point against X10. It's not looking good for them as they need to bounce back, and they need to bounce back hard.
Oh man, this is a lot more closer than expected as well here. And then the thing is, you actually and I'm a little bit concerned of the mental state for X10 as well, because like I don't think they're at the point of tilting, but they are currently at the crossroad of life, right? They kind of they only have one more chance to try to bring back the round. And at the same time, you ended the round in such a manner from the second map as well. It does hit pretty hard.
It does. I mean, especially after the confidence they build from some of the hardest situations, playing against inside a Viper pit, and having to stop them from close lines against Kizuna, coming up against Bleed, and then getting, honestly, just getting thrashed in that map. Now, it comes back to Bleed once again. This is going to be their map pick.
Okay, so for Bleed Esports, their lineup is somewhat standard. Like, this is a typical standard you normally commonly see on Bind. Maybe it's, yes, exact. I was about to say it too, to bring in the double controllers, having both the Brimstone and the Viper, and then we have the return of Chamber. Let me give you a brief rundown, right? There was, when Chamber first came in, there was the age of Chamber.
I remember that one.
As fast as it came in, it's also as fast as it goes.
I know they've changed Chamber quite a lot, and that's why we don't get to see in professional play that often, but it still doesn't change the fact that once Chamber gets his ultimate, you basically have an op in your hand, and that's always going to be dangerous. But X10 whipping out, nothing left to lose, going for the double initiators plus double controllers, no sentinels, so they hit hard, they hit fast, they're extremely flexible with the way they move around the map.
This is actually not the first time they use this composition, because they played Bind one time against the Team Lurf, and this is the exact same comp as well.
Yeah, bringing out the Gecko too.
Not just for this map, but also for the map of Split as well.
Well, I can understand a little bit more for Split, and you know, Split and Bind kind of have like the same general concept, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about trying to get onto the site and how many angles you actually have to work for. Once you get past that big choke point, well, the site's basically yours at that point, and you just have to fight it out. Now, the game's starting in about 10 seconds. So Bleed's going to be on the attack first, and of course I'm going to assume that, you know, if Bleed's on the attack, they're going to have some strong rounds.
I mean, definitely for sure with the composition they have, but you do need to keep your eye out as well, because there is various choke points, and most importantly, various areas that you do need to have total control and total command to actually really to win out the site or retake those sites. And I think that's going to be the prime objective for both sides. X10 in particular, since there's something on the defending side, if they do hit that A, they need to keep at least that lamp area, that U-haul in their command.
Yeah, it's gonna, well, I mean, they do have Raze at the end of the day, so they can close the gap super quickly. But let's see how they're gonna posture themselves here. Now, in match number 1, we thought that Bleed was going to get like multiple rounds wins on the attacking side, but XM was able to kind of go even, right? Trading one for one, util for util, round for round.
I mean, it's that morning greetings, right? You wake up in the morning of some birds singing, right?
Just hello.
just another day in Valorant, right? Having a blinding bird in the face.
Look, I don't know Valorant logic, but the logic is be like, oh, the name of the ability is called Guiding Light. Who are you guiding? And first of all, are they blind or something? Because that bird is bright.
I mean, sending them to the other side, right? I mean, that's why we have the term, the analogy, right? Don't go into the light.
don't look at the light. Try to dodge it. Ideally, look at a wall. Play anti-flash, something. Good shot.
That was a nice off angles too. This does slow things down a little bit, but not for too long because they still have the man advantage. They got shower control. They have full choice on where they want to plant that spike. However, they still haven't gotten control of the U-Haul just yet, and they're trying to look to see if they can try to clear it out. Neff playing a little bit more closer. Can he expect how many spots? 2, but the frenzy comes in stronger and superior. Rico has to reset. 19 HP is nothing to joke with here, but Darren is still playing in the back line in showers here. To being that second line of defense. Won't be able to last for too long. Wayne comes in strong with the frenzy again.
Now the post plans, that Molly's going to stick around for a while. Unfortunately for X10, there's nothing they can do about that. And they're also at an HP deficit at the same time. Rico has to bait his life. Oh, but they're able to, unfortunately, unable to close it out.
Oh, simultaneously taken out at the same time. Didn't even have a chance to talk about it. Just gone.
Just gone once again. And Bleed, they will walk away. They will walk away very happy after that pistol round. But this is where it gets dangerous. The last time we thought, yeah, pistol round already goes to Bleed, and now they should dominate round number 2. Man, X10, especially with those sheriffs, dangerous boys.
You also gotta take it to the counter. They're also pretty great defenders as well, choke things out here. But of course, superior weaponry is coming to the mix as well. I see whether the rifle is gonna be favoring Bleed Esports this time.
Oh, let's find out.
Oh, that's gonna be a nice freebie for our dear friend Vera if he chooses to go for the upgrade. But still playing a little bit cautious though. Still have no idea how many players is actually still playing at the back of Darien. So will not take the upgrade.
Yep. They're going to start working this site together, right? They've already gotten control over. They're going to start making some space into U-Haul. Wait this out a little bit longer, but oh my goodness, they don't know.
Nobody's going to run out though.
Oh, unlucky! Wayne has to look at 2 places at once. His eyes get across, and now they're going to initiate onto the side. Juicy immediately finds one. Vera's able to take one on the back, but instantly traded. The numbers not in their favor. Bleed going to take round 2.
Oh man, I can understand the feeling, right? Just pops out his eyes, just has to literally go twist them because there's just too many.
If only the shorty had 3 shots in it instead of 2 shots. Think about that.
3 shots. I think that's too much to ask, isn't it?
No, it's very little. It's 100. Maybe you know what? No, there has to be like some kind of downside to it. So let's add another 50 credits for it.
It's already the downside to the fact that you need to be relatively close, and all planets needs to connect.
Exactly. So why not give it one more shot and add another 50 credits?
That gives them more certainty that they will definitely get the kill.
Fine, I'll be generous. 100 more credits. Because I am sick of people just purchasing the weapon like it's nothing. You know, having that as a secondary is always good.
You might as well give them a little bit of courtesy, right? At least allow it to be more of a buckshot instead of spread out, right?
There's 2 different patterns that you could go for. It's like the Bucky where there's the long and the short one as well.
Add another 1,000 credits and you get a buckshot.
Okay, maybe that's pushing it a bit far, even for me.
That's how crazy it sounds when you tell me they should add another ammo in too. Add another slug. That's how crazy it is.
Maybe there's an alternate fire, but Darien already taking 2 clean shots. He's going to redeem himself from the last fight against Vera and able to get 1 more profit. Just to buy out the round. They've already gotten 3, and Darien, he doesn't care. He's running up for this. He feels that. He smells it, but he's not going to go further than the spawn.
He's respecting it though. That's the thing. They do have the rifles on hand, but they know there's just too much condition to take this out. Because like I said, if they want to retake it, they need to get command of the U-Haul. But before reaching that condition, you need to go through that first layer of defense first. So there's a lot of layers, and they just don't have enough bodies to really stack up that retake count.
Yeah, and X10, they're making a smart choice here. Just save the round. It's a little too difficult, but Bleed, if anybody goes on the hunt, punish them for this. They've got 2 people on this cross here as they drop the smoke, as well as get the guiding light out for the information. Now the rest of the Bleed, they want to be a part of this.
Oh yeah, they're on the hunt. Not too many people, not too many people straying away from the spike. Just for good measure. But looks like Darius gonna be able to get the quad. Could this be the ace? He's looking for it. Spot the head, but gets denied by 10 regardless.
Okay, he gets 2. He gets 2 at the end of the day.
Good attempt though, good attempt.
Very good attempt, in fact. Still, the economy not exactly in their favor. They're going to take an eco once again and Bleed. The momentum is just building up. Let's look at this replay one more time, right? What exactly happened here? Throws out the util, and for some reason, Darien is just like, okay with it?
1 enemy remaining.
Like, Dizzy did not do its job.
I mean, that poor guy dies, man. Like everyone dies. It's so. Please, it's like animal abuse, man. Give love.
You want to play? I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's calm down here for a second. This is a video game, all right? No animals were hurt in the creation of Gecko.
I mean, you say that, but then they're literally plastered paste on the floor.
That's just for. No, he doesn't know. He's gonna get knifed.
No, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna disrespect him that way. He's gonna gun him down where he stands. But then again, not giving him a chance for a fair fighting regardless. But of course, still 2v3. They still have the man advantage as well. They need to try to get a little bit more control. He flies forward here, and looks like Rekko will be able to get the trade, but gets traded back instantly. Last man attempts. Very tempted to stay alive, but Darren will be able to get that. Very late ace.
Yeah, very late ace, but more importantly, the man has been barely using his rifle half the time. He has just been landing some nice headhunter shots. That's basically, and he's like, I can't wait for my ult. I don't have that kind of time. Just give me the operator right now.
I mean, technically, if you think about it as well, Chamber does fall under the same category as Jet, right? Where they're one of the few agents in the game where economy doesn't really mean too much for them as long as they're getting frags, because they will still get a very explosive or a high execution skill. It's a massive power spike as long as they get frags out of it.
I had a counter argument, but both of them aren't very strong, so I'm just gonna move away from it. I know when to pick my fights, but this, not one of them. Not one of them. I was gonna bring up like, oh, but racist rocket launcher.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but that's a lot of additional frags for you to get.
Oh, Phoenix technically has a second life. You know,
he's on the bench for the long time.
Look, I like Phoenix a lot. Okay, don't get me wrong. He's
I
one
mean,
of my
you can find Benkai. He will do you the favor of bringing back Phoenix once in a while.
Don't bring Paper X's name into this, because they're willing to do anything. Attempts, he already finds that first contact, wins out his gunfight with a clean headshot onto Crazy Guy. Without the smokes, now Bleed's plans just got significantly harder.
Completely spotted out and also somewhat isolated. They still haven't really resolved for themselves to really engage to the side, but all hopes and dreams slowly crumbling away as Rekko will pick up one of their second last controller and Smoker. Juicy is also going to be following him in suit, left with only Darion and Naf. Sorry, Naf also gone for the picture there, the last man in a 1v5.
He's going to take his time. Darion, he's got the operator. He's just going to hold the angle all day, every day, for as long as possible.
I mean, you think about it. One bullet for one player. Oh, no! Oh, they waited for him. Oh, he was waiting.
When you said one bullet, one player, I thought of it for half a second. It's like, man, it'd be really funny if Egoist was going to kill him here.
I mean, that was going to be the next setup, right? He's positioning that at B long, right next to the teleporter. And Ego is just very patiently waiting.
He is very patient. He is extremely patient. He's Egoist for a reason. That's why they call him Mr. Blue Lock. He's extremely patient. He's got an ego of his own, and he's not afraid to take these gunfights.
I wish he was he actually expressed that ego a little bit more, because he does have the skills for it. He's a very humble guy, despite being named Egoist, by the way.
Cut back to his player cam, his eyes have spirals. Oh, Vera landing a great shot there.
That is nasty.
He's going to get concussed one way or another, whether it be the Secrets or the Trailblazer. He's locked up here at U-Haul. Not exactly ideal with an operator, but here it comes. The Viper's Pit has been dropped by Lori's side, and it's covering so much space on A.
But there goes the Shark, not going to be able to detain anyone as he actually gets picked up before he actually meets his final destination. Comes in with a showstopper, expended, connects on no one there. But does he spot the leg? He does! Scary spots him just around the ankles there and will remove their issue here. Egoist and Wayne still survive here. Playing outside of the Viper Pit. They know they can't try to get in there. But the spy hasn't been planted just yet. They have been faking this entire time.
Oh, it's the punish coming in from Wade. If he got a second one, that would have been it. Egoist all by himself now, up against 3. And honestly, I was expecting X10 to win this. They had 3 ultimates available, but unfortunately, this one Viper's Pit was enough.
And the worst part about it is that how long that Viper Pit has been stationary, and that spike hasn't gone down yet.
Yeah.
They were literally thrown for a spin because they have no idea, is this actually a fake or not?
I mean, they're fishing for it, right? They're fishing for anything they can get out of X10, and they got all 3 of those ultimates, right? So now we come back to it, and this time, Wayne is the one who's got that Viper's Pit, and Bleed need to be aware of this. They got the Orbital Strike just in case, but more importantly, they're calling in for the timeout. Where, how, and why should we be utilizing this Viper's Pit? If not, do we just not utilize it at all and wait for Bleed to come in?
It's such a tough call, right? Because the thing is, there is multiple ways he can use the Viper. He can use it, he can expand it early now, right below hookah. That way, at least you cover towards the B long entrance and even the hookah drop as well. Or save it a little bit later to try to go use it for the retake on that A side. But that just means your team needs to at least gain some control towards U-Haul. At least that way you have this too prone of attack to retake that side. Because let's be honest, I don't think he's going to be able to get that close if Bleed Esports just have total control of that back or side.
Okay, all right. I'm going to make a couple of assumptions here.
Right,
Number
go
one,
for it.
I do think that Bleed Esports probably not going to use an early orbital strike to clear out U-Haul, for an example. I think they're going to be able to save it for those post plants. I mean,
Correct.
considering how the rounds have been going, they've been basically winning it out before the plant even goes down. So I think for X10, they're probably going to use the Viper ult relatively early. If not, the retake is going to be, I would say, very difficult here, because Bleed, as soon as that plant goes down, they can start holding it, and especially on a default plant, it would be even more beneficial.
And since with the orbital strike as well, you have like one of the best post plans like abilities, and also great lineup, because no way Crazy Guy's gonna be in the front of the line. Still gonna be standing all the way to the back with that
I mean,
molly.
we say that, but then cut back to B long.
Yeah, the B long man. I had to give you that one.
Yeah. I mean,
I had to give you that one. I can't find a counter argument for that.
Oh,
beautiful opening. Darien was able to get control of the U-Haul. That just means to the back of the side. But I love the defensive water wall as well, coming for the cascade. They don't get flanked for too long, but they can't last. They need to get shower control, but Crazy Guy is completely denying them and literally cements their spot to that A.
Yeah, they don't even need to. I don't even think they need to use the orbital strike at this point. They're just winning out their gunfights. The execute was really clean, and losing control over U-Haul kind of enabled the rest of the Bleed to be like, all right, just take your fights now. This is a really good time.
But it was a very good call coming from Rico, because he understand that he had to use the high tide or the cascade to really wall off the side of U-Haul since they lost control. So that just means he needs to gain control of showers. That way they don't get hit from both sides here. They need at least some breathing room for themselves, but unfortunately, they could not take the fight away.
Yeah, they just needed to win that one fight, and I think things would have been a lot easier. At least they could get the orbital strike out of Bleed. Like Wayne made sure they didn't use the Viper's Pit super early on, so they're saving it for another round. And I think it's easy to say that Bleed is just going to be like, all right, it's hunting season. For those who want their ults, go and find some kills.
Oh, yeah.
Random orbital strike right at the end of the round.
That's too much. I'm already happy with the fact that they didn't actually knife. They didn't knife Thames earlier just now here.
Okay, that's a good point. The sign of respect is shown.
Maybe later. Later.
Just wait until Bleed is on like, what, 11? At a score of 11, that's when they're just going to be like, last guy, let's go for the knife.
I still feel X10 can at least try to get more points off this racks here.
Let's find out. Let's find out. The Viper is going to be sitting on that A. Keep your eyes on it because she's the only one who has her ult. Information being gathered by the Guiding Light and the Trailblazer to try and get into U-Haul. It gets spammed out before it gets that information, but Darien, he's just going to walk up here and push through the smoke. Gets punished by Wayne instantaneously. An orbital strike coming in from Shower Side to clear it out to fight and isolate through A main, and the gunfights are working out in Bleed's favor, but still they are low in numbers. Finds another one, equals it out, 3v3. That's working it. They're working it nice and slow, and it works out fine.
And the trades have also been pretty great so far. One step at a time. Just go for the fake here. Well, but finally stick it down here. Just for good match to see if they can try to force anyone out. They're playing relatively close to the charge of the U-Haul. He's pretty confident that he's not going to be able to miss those slugs. Rico and Thames, on the other hand, they have a lot of things on their hands to actually check things out here. Guiding Light comes in, finally gets the U-Haul. Spots no one.
Now they've got two in U-Haul and Neff.
Oh, no.
It's about to happen.
Oh, but the
just
wall.
past the cascade. The timing couldn't have been worse. He 5-1 turns around and instantly pincer the sky in place.
It was good call on both sides. It was much needed, right? You need to have two players to try to go for the swing. The cascade was used to actually just be more of a front, so to actually don't really give them the general idea that potentially they might actually push through to give them quite the surprise. But there's also Neff also decided to, like, so I'm going to try to swing around and be a huge nuisance about things.
I'm going to be a hero, Mom. I think that in these cases, right, especially with double control comps, as soon as you get access to Harbor, right, there's a lot of situations where you're just like, well, it's a 50-50, right? It's either he's left, he's right. Sometimes they're not even there, and that's when you're like, oh, thank God.
I mean, this is what we talk about screens in the second map, right? That kind of thing. But of course, second screen, Wayne decided to go for the swing. Oh, wow. Barely a corner for the spot, but that's actually still not bad. Thank God they actually didn't decide to spray through, because I think Wayne will actually be on the receiving end of all that hails of bullets.
Yeah, but at the very least, Wayne is able to cross on over. He's going to do it again, though. And man, they see nothing here. This setup doesn't allow Bleed to do anything. Darion's going to start things off by like trying to spam through, hope for the best. But here's what's going to happen, right? They're going to start pulling backwards. Wayne's going to go into U-Haul, and Vera is going to get a big blast. Sorry, not Vera. Wayne is going to get a good shot with the shorty. So let's see whether that's going to be the case. Vera just waiting. Oh, Trailblazer, they know he's got the shorty. U-Haul, don't access it. Let's calm down for a moment. Snake bites are coming out as well to try and slow down this initial push. They take out Darion. One's in the smoke. They turn around by Triple. They get one. They check showers. Don't see anybody there. But Triple is still in prior. But Vera still manages to get the shorty shot off.
This is great. This is fantastic. Crazy guy is still around, but
down and got the spike.
Last man standing, going to manage to reclaim back the spike. It's a 1v2. He can choose to take this one, and now it's solid. The round became viable. 1v3. There was a limelight for the side here for X10 here, but now the light is slowly dimming out here.
1v1. Not enough time. He's got a plant. He's got 2 seconds to plant.
No way!
And Clutch just no way! Crazy guy does it again.
I'm telling you, that man is completely unhinged. Usually, right, in the most normal scenario, with the time that you have left, it's about 10 seconds and counting, you would normally try to get the spike planted.
I mean,
but Crazy Guy just says no.
Yeah, that's the thing. He wants to see if he can catch him off that timing. He knows that at the 6-second mark, a movement has to happen. If not, you won't have enough time to close in on somebody who's looking to plant, or vice versa. So very good decision making from Crazy Guy.
Oh man, but honestly, it felt more like a 50-50 too, because he had the crosshair placing on the other side as well. So, of course, Crazy Guy did come on top for that fight, but I can't believe he clutched that out, man.
Yeah, I thought so too. Especially since he threw the Stim Beacon, it's like, get this out of my inventory. I don't need it.
I'm not gonna lie, I was already prepped to go to the next round already. But seriously, that poison card placement really did through Bleed for quite the spin for a second.
Man, it's gonna be Darion who wins out the duel.
And he didn't even tag Darren at all. My God, I thought he had it from dead to rights too. That was an unfortunate scenario.
Hey man, the legs have weird hitboxes. That's all I can say. Probably not the best to hit, but Scary already opening up the A side single-handedly. Actually, defenders are.
How? What? That was unbelievable. Just from the Seeker's trajectory alone. That's crazy.
Dang. Good plays. And now evenly out the 2v2.
All right,
2v1, and it's up to
X10.
Darion.
Blocking fire.
He wants it bad. He wants this bad. He's got the operator, and he's like, I don't feel like saving no more.
30 seconds left.
Gotta need to try the reposition back. He has a shorty! And again, Shorty has done great justice on the team. Brought out the headhunter, but then again, of course, Thames will breathe some life back to X10 and keep them in it.
I'm surprised he didn't either switch his gun or just whip out the operator there. But hey, now he's got the Tour de Force. Doesn't really matter. He's got the upgraded version, the Ops bigger brother.
Yep. I mean, I guess you could say, I guess maybe because he didn't want to bring the op because it doesn't feel as punishing if you were to miss that kind of thing with the headhunter.
I suppose, but I think at the end
or maybe
of
it's
the
just
day,
more like a comfortability thing, maybe.
Comfortability? At least we know what Darion likes to bring into the range. He always starts off with a Sheriff or the headhunter.
A big man doesn't mean a big gun sometimes. You know?
I mean, it's one of the biggest pistols in the game so far. I'm just saying, the man's packing some heat. Let me just say that. Crazy Guy gonna start with the spams towards U-Hauls from showers through the wall, hopefully to try and sneak somebody out here. But they're making sure they've got the drone, they've got the sentry bot or the flanks, but they're doing this very slowly. They're not hitting as fast as they used to.
Yeah, the the readjustments and replacing of certain utilities, especially from the screens, from the Poison Cloud as well, did really forces Bleed Esports to really go back into that thinking mode again to see like what's actually really happening, what's the score, what's the goal here. But Vera, 50 HP to boot here. No, he does have the tailwind charge as well. He's gonna time on soon.
Great
timing. Got the Seeker, but Darren just will be able to wallbang at the corner of the boxes to open things up for the team at the side.
Destroyed. He's winning out these operator battles against Vera of all people, and man, that's gotta be really demotivating. They drop down the pit. So many smokes, barely visible. U-Haul, just a death trap right now. Guiding Light is going to get that information for the side of X10, but still loses out on that fight. Scary is just dipping in and out. He's out of there now. And here comes the round trip. Orbital Strike coming too. Oh! Juicy closing out this game. Oh man, making sure that his rockets aren't going to miss.
Oh man, what an explosive statement that Juicy has for that second last round for the last round of the first half.
Well, I mean, now it's the last round. At least Bleed have already utilized all of their ultimates, Showstopper, Orbital Strike included, Tour de Force already gone. The only thing that's left is that Scary is 2 off from that Viper's Pit once more. Whether or not he wants to actually farm orbs to get it done, I feel like Bleed don't need to really worry about it, assuming that they don't lose out on the first engagement, but they're going so fast. Look at them go. They even know that they're moving out towards Shower side. Darion is able to trade it back, but they clear it out, no problems whatsoever. And now a 3v4 with the smoke. Scary. He just knows.
Rico. They're hearing a lot about it. They're picking up a lot of utility. Spiceman down, Snake, but thank God there's a little bit of tiny corner for spacing, allowing Rico to still play around U-Haul. This might be giving an opportunity. Spots him out. But of course, Scary's ever so diligent. Still really want to secure this U-Haul. Neff comes in to reinforce him to secure the round. And of course, the scoreline is 10-2.
Yep, it works out. But I think this is one of those good showings from the Shorty that makes you wonder, why isn't it more expensive? Like, it could be more expensive if they wanted it to, but no, it's just like, it's just a couple of credits, not that big deal. Every single round, you can essentially purchase it.
I mean, it comes to this risk. I feel like it's really balanced as it is as well.
Is it a balanced gun? I feel that it could be. I feel like it's more over-tuned than anything else.
It's kind of a high-risk, high-reward kind of scenario, right? You need to get close. Of course. You get close enough, you land most of the pellets, you actually will get the frag for it.
I feel like it's more consistent than that, really. I mean, considering that it's very popular to have double controllers in your lineup for honestly a majority of these maps, unless you have a different story to play style, having that Shorty just brings too much value, in a matter of fact. Pushing through these smokes feels good. Sitting inside of smokes feels good. Whether attack or defense, there's always value in it.
I mean, because it's just somewhat uncertain scenario, right? Because you're dealing with a lot of screens, maps like Bio, there's a lot more contact plays that you're going to be trying to dominate and try to secure for your team to whether to secure the side or retake the side. It's like you said, it just works.
It just works. Would you rather a classic or a Shorty as your secondary in some of these spots here?
Classic.
Really? You prefer a classic over a Shorty? I'll take a Shorty any other day.
Classic hasn't failed me so far. Shorty has.
You know when God has favorites sometimes? I think this is one of those moments.
That's what I'm saying. Like, apparently I lack of faith, isn't it?
No, it's not your lack of faith. You just have too much faith in that right click. Because I do not trust my right clicks at all. I would like a very big wide circle for my crosshair, especially if I have that Shorty.
But then again, for me, when I play my ranked games, if the game's really on the line, the judge I have a trusty Bucky or a judge on my side.
And you call on the bigger LK, sit down, little bro. I'm getting a real shotgun now. But overall, the rounds have been going extremely well for Bleed, as expected. X10, on the other hand, kind of struggling a little bit. I think that a lot of those times, it's just once Bleed have that huge momentum swing, and the alt economy is on their side, they know how to push their advantages.
This is what I was saying earlier, right? It's the fact that Bleed just knows how to capitalize on this momentums and this situation, and they just really let it roll with it as well. And the thing is, even though on Ikoron they are still playing as serious as they can be, but when they know it's like certain bonuses round, like especially for the third round lose bonus, they just know for sure that we can reset this back into our favor as long as we win this round. They just know when to really make it hurt for their opposing side.
Right? keeping that in mind, we move on to X10 on the attacking side. Lead to get really aggressive down after Hookah manages to get a kill by Sans. They start pulling backwards, expecting to see some kind of aggression from X10. Maybe fast? No, they're taking it so slow. 4 members posted, he sees 4. Now he's got to get out there. He's going to quickly flash, but that doesn't make it out in time. Beautiful shot. Gets instantly a second paint shells. Wow.
That's the Kobe of the century for Juicy here. He's absolutely loving that one, relishing in it as well. 2 remains. Temp doesn't really have the HP. 15 HP and a dream and a classic in the hand here. Rico, right up and close and personal. He likes to see his prey right through the eyes as well.
Yeah, he makes sure he keeps eye contact when he kisses him on the lips. Oh my God.
I wonder how Rico actually experienced that, because let's be honest, if that was me, I will be flipping out, because that's just absolutely horrifying.
I don't know. It could be one of those moments where it's like, okay, they don't know I'm here. I'm gonna scratch my nose real quick. And then as soon as you move your hand off of your left hand off of WASD, that's when he peeks out. I mean, you're like, oh no!
I mean, it's also one of the few famous scenes or action in a horror movie, right? Where you feel like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm safe. That's when the thing actually pops out, right?
Doctor Who Weeping Angel moment where you just like blink once.
Right.
You blink once, he's out of the smoke.
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Keep eye contact on him. But now, wait, it looks like it's going to be the exact same plan, right? But this time they're not hard pushing out of Hookah. Bleed expected to go towards A. But now with the fast B from X10, they're going to be making it onto the side. And it looks like it's going to be clean, but no, Scary. He's already found 1, gets a second. You know what? Give him a third. Make it a 4th. Give him the ace.
Can he get it? Oh no, once again, a second ace denied. Not gonna allow it in this round, but Ego's last man standing in the 1v3. But Sally, Juicy's paint shell will always be the one to have the final say.
Yikes. I'm not, man. Juicy's been getting a lot of good paint shells here. A double kill on the very first pistol round, and then afterwards he's able to get another kill by Hookah again. Like, yikes.
The thing is, it's like, even if he doesn't get the kill, right, the fact that he does this chip damage, right? And this is what he usually does best with the Sova when he plays Sova as well, with the shock dust. Just doing chip damage, whittling them down onto a very uncomfortable HP rate, and then they have to take this fight in the most unideal environment.
Well, let's see whether or not X10 have anything else up their sleeve. This is match point for Bleed, and they're looking like they're going to Ascensions this time. Oh, wow, this is such a risky play. They're looking to close out the game, but at the same time, X10 have already pushed out a B. They already find 1. This is going to prompt the rest of the Bleed to start this initiation onto the A side. They move in, and they're moving in fast. Instantly, Darion finds 1. For a second, he hears it. He quickly TPs back up into Heaven side as Vera. He's already got the space.
I can't even imagine. Slowly getting picked off as targets so they're trying to garner some form of control. They know reinforcements is currently converging in their position there, and they're doing their all to survive. Tem is the last one to stand, but Scary will be the one to secure this. Bleed Esports, ladies and gentlemen, is your grand champion and will ascend to the higher planes.
GG, well played to Bleed Esports. A clean game. Wave to the camera. Say hi. Remember these faces, as there's going to be competing at an even bigger level right afterwards. An unfortunate loss for X10, man. Like, you can really see it on their faces that, man, it was hard because they got shut out so many of these maps.
The thing is, I feel like when it comes to, although yes, I will still stand by that the team who had the greatest growth would have been Kizuna, because during Split 1, Split 2, but I feel this is the strongest X10 has ever been. Don't even take into account of the group stage standing, because there was really great teams in Split 2. It was a really hard competition here. But X10 really put in the work, put in the grind, and with the new IGL, the new members as well, to utilize that to further enhance their rosters, I think X10 was in a really good place. But then, of course, Bleed Esports was just on top of their field so far.
Yeah, they're clean. They're very, very clean. They like comps that allows them to be flexible. That's why we're seeing, you know, this Brim come out very, very often. And even in a situation where you want to have double controllers, right? The Harbor, rather annoying. The ult is good, but man, the orbital strike has been such a game changer for for Bleed to like almost guarantee rounds for them.
And plus, Brimstone has been somewhat of a staple ever since Bind first came out as well. His kits just works. He has good post plays, good lines up as well. It's literally almost unquestionable to not have a Brimstone in your lineup when you're playing on the map at Bind.
I mean, we say that, but Crazy Guy, he swaps between them, right? Even Sova has been one of his like main agents that he's been playing throughout the split and also in playoffs itself.
Which I think is pretty cool, right? Because like Legia, like during my interview with Legia back in Split 1 Grand Finals, I asked him what was the importance of having your team members, your roster, to be able to play multiple roles and multiple agents. He said that's actually the utmost importance because you do have variations, you have flexibility to play around with certain compositions here.
As well as understandings of the limitations of the utility itself. You don't know how good it is until you try it.
Correct. But then again, what a run that we had in Split 2. It's been an exceptional run so far.
It has been an exceptional run. I can't wait for the interview. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Legia again because he's the only person who really takes it. The boys are kind of like, okay, we don't want to say anything too heinous.
Juicy's going to get his chicken rice. Everyone's going to hit the shower. I mean, it has to be Legia, right?
It's got to be. It's got to be. We'll get some questions ready up for him, but 13-2. What a complete washout here by Bleed. 9 first kills and overall just winning out every single one of their post plants.
Oh man, that is. Oh my God. Very dominant.
Very
I think it's been a while since we've seen such a dominating stats because it has always been like somewhat like back and forth.
I don't want to brag or anything, but there was a game where it was 13-0. You know what I'm talking about.
I mean, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but we're talking about now.
We're talking the now. But overall, I think Juicy has been playing such a strong game. I think he felt extremely comfortable. I'm surprised that Darion was actually winning out a majority of his fights, especially against Vera. Like you could definitely see that Vera was getting annoyed losing out these 1v1s, especially with an operator.
I mean, you do need to take it into account as well and remember that Darren, his initial background foundation was as a duelist. So he has this 2 years or months worth of practices as a fragger. Like he's completely an unhinged aimer as well. So the fact that he's being pushed down to a less risk of a role, I feel that actually allows him to actually be more having a more broader view of the map, right, of the scenario, allows you to put that aim to use and try to get those objective kills out of those. But of course, MVP for the map of Bind is none other than Juicy himself. Or I guess you could say he has been a pretty good Kobe Bryant for this one.
His paint shells have been nasty, but I think his picks here, and especially when he's getting into the site, he creates way too much space, something that X10 tries to continuously slow down, but unfortunately, the damage usually is already done, right? U-Haul has been cleared out many, many times, forcing players to move back instinctually because they hear the double satchel coming in from Juicy.
It's just so hard to contest as well. And don't forget, he's one of those duelists that not only does he opens up the map, the site so well, but he's also very level-headed where he just understands okay, I can't stray too far. I know where's my limit. I also know what I need to do around my team as well. What's the main goal here? What's the objective here to secure? But regardless, of course, such a beautiful grand final.
Yeah, really great stuff coming in from Bleed. Definitely a step above the rest, and they continue to prove that every single time we see them play up on the main stage. Unfortunately for X10 and the X10 fans, they did not make it, but second place is, this is a team, formed together. They were looking for chemistry. They found the chemistry towards the end, and making this playoff run to the grand finals is already an achievement in and of itself.
And the chemistry is actually even better from Split 1 as well.
Exactly.
So it's just that great. But of course, we cannot end this grand finals without speaking with one of the greatest minds that we have in MYSG. Let's bring it out, Legia himself here. Let's see what he has to say. Legia, my friend, how are you, man?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Well, we're having a ball. We're absolutely thrilled so far. Very entertaining.
Yeah, very entertaining. Your team has been doing great, and this is probably what you were talking about when the playoffs started. When you first played against X10, the boys weren't doing so great. This was the form that you were hoping for, or did it not meet expectations like last time?
I mean, obviously, we showed a very good face today, and I don't think they stood a chance at all against us, which I think no team really in MYSG can stand a chance against us. I think if we show a normal performance, not even the best performance, I think we beat every team. And I think we proved it today that we are the best.
Okay, perfect. It's great that he's talking about the best because now your team is going to be moving on to the Ascension rounds, right? Is there anything that you guys are preparing for specifically for that tournament, or are there any teams that you're keeping a very close eye upon?
Not really. I mean, we will not underestimate any team. We will just keep focusing on us like we did the whole time, I would say. And we are super confident. I mean, there's obviously good teams there and the competition will be stronger, but the only thing is we focus on us. Whenever match day is coming up and we know our opponents, I will prepare for them like I did for every game here. And I'm super confident also for Ascension.
Okay, but also at the same time, while you're also prepping for Ascension as well, and also from your statement alone, do you potentially see, will there be any potential challenges that you guys will be facing during Ascension?
I would say any team is a potential threat, I guess. But if I really would have to pick one, I think Jadeite, I think, is one of the stronger teams there. But yeah, as I said, like we don't fear anyone. I will prepare very well for these teams. I think that this region lacks a lot of balance in their game, so it's quite easy to prepare for enemies or opponents. So they have many tells, and I think we will just keep going with the flow that we had for this split. And I'm super confident, as I said.
Expectations to smash Ascension is looking really, really good. Do you have any final statements for all the Bleed fans out there? Anything that the players have, asked you to share with the rest of the world?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you to all my teammates and the Bleed staff. Everyone behind is helping us wherever they can, and me as a coach and the players feel all the support. And I'm super happy that my players also gave it like their all. I think we struggled a little bit. We took it a little bit too easy maybe in the middle of the split, and we started playing like other games. But once I had a talk with my teammates or my players, I think we improved on that. So we really gave it our all to show dominance, because it will show also then for Ascension. Once we qualify, teams will be afraid, I think, playing against us, and I think for a reason also. And coming to the fans, obviously, it's amazing that we get all the support from them, and we are super happy. We feel all the good messages that we get, and it really helps us to stay motivated and always perform to our best, I guess. So thanks to everyone.
All right. With that being said, that's the final words coming in from League Giro from Bleed Esports. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have an interview with you.
Thank you guys for casting.
Good luck for Ascension.
Take it all the way. Take it all the way, man.
Thanks.
I forgot to ask whether we're going to give Bleed merch.
That's pushing it too far here. I felt that was like a nice ending, saying, good luck for Ascension, and then just asking for bleed merch afterwards. That's a little too soon. A little too soon for my liking.
I mean, if I recall 5 years ago, you did something similar too.
Look, I was a different man back then, and I still got the merch regardless. Let's not get too deep into it, but I'm really hoping that we see another representative actually make it and winning the VCT Ascensions to get into those big stars. Like Pacific was amazing in and of itself. To have one more representative coming in for MYSG would at least allow us to hold the banner. We have some pride in us.
Oh man, but seriously, and I really hope that we actually reach a stage where Darian will actually go toe-to-toe with Paper Rex again, because let's be honest,
it's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while, and I really feel that they actually should take that fight back.
Yeah, they should, but just in case you guys are tuning in and missed out all the action and wondering what the heck happened, don't worry, we got the brackets updated for you guys. It's been a long journey as Bleed and X10 started all the way from day number 1 in the upper brackets. X10 unfortunately losing out to Bleed, but they had some hope. 2-1 was that matchup. They continue playing on, and unfortunately for X10, they had to play double the amount of games that Bleed had as they knocked down Kizuna, and finally Kizuna getting eliminated by X10 in a clean 3-0 sweep to where we are today in the grand finals, where Bleed completely wash out X10, not giving them a chance, not even a single map.
It's really a beautiful growing story for X10 as well here. Although yes, some people would say, especially if they still remember the bracket lineup for Split 1, feels like history did repeat itself, maybe like a deja vu moment, but I feel this time, this split to this bracket, despite unfortunately X10 getting second place, I still think they don't have to have a really heavy heart about this. They really gave it all, a phenomenal performance, a lot more cleaner, protocols a lot more forward and more intuitive as well. I think it's been a great run. But of course, with that being said, still another congratulations to Bleed Esports and all the fans that has been supporting them at their backs from the group stages all the way to the grand finals itself. You guys made it to Ascension.
Yes, that's going to be so exciting to watch Ascension, man. Oh boy, I cannot wait to see how we're going to be facing up some of the best here in Southeast Asia and the rest Pacific.
Definitely, for sure. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, all great things must come to an end. We all hope you all have a great time throughout this entire journey with us in Split 2, because I know for sure we both had one hell of a run. I'm Landon, also known as YOLO Lee. Gracing me again is my old friend Gideon. And we'll see you guys at Ascension.
VCT Asia Pacific.
We'll see you in Bangkok, Thailand.
Guys, look at this.
This is going to be so fun.
Mastermind creator of this high vibe energy. Only thing I'm loyal to is building a legacy. I'm a provider. Tell the amateurs stay in their lane, ain't no outsider. Bought a mansion in LA, right next to Mariah. Write a song, get filthy paid, price going high. Yeah, if I gotta do it, I'ma do the most. Since they paid to see a show, got the South overflow. Yeah, if I gotta do it, I'ma do the most. Watching me, they take note, raise a toast to the goat. Yeah, if I gotta do it, I'ma do the most. Since they paid to see a show, got the South overflow. Yeah, if I gotta do it, I'ma do the most. Watching me, they take note, raise a toast to the goat. Yeah. It takes a lot to be the best.